Mikiyo Aoki begins our action tonight as the chip leader with almost $4.9 million. In 2014, she finished second in this event and now returns to complete her mission. The other big stack of our final five is Debora Brooke, enjoying her first ever World Series of Poker cash. She also with more than 4 million chips. On their heels, though, are three similar stacks. As we look left to right, Diane Cooley, JJ Liu, and Lara Eisenberg, all with 1.2 million. Five remain in this 2021 World Series of Poker Ladies Championship. Tonight, one of them will win their first gold bracelet. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarran, lucky enough to be joined by Jamie Kerstetter and Jennifer Tilley for the call of tonight's action. We got down to our final table last night, down to 5, and now we will bring you the rest of the action. As we take a look now at the chip stacks, Aoki and Brooke over 4 million, and then as mentioned, three other stacks in the 1.2 million range. Ching Liu finished in 6th, Marley Cardero 7th, Cheris Andrews in 8th, and Tiffany Lee in 9th place of the 644 entries, all of them battling for their very first World Series of Poker bracelets. We take a look at the payouts brought to you by Cuervo. There are no strangers. $115,694 up top. And you see everyone guaranteed fifth place money of over $26,000. And so this should be a lot of fun. As mentioned, joined by two of my favorites, Oscar nominated for '94 film, Bullets Over Broadway. Tiffany Valentine in the Chucky movies, voice of Bonnie Swanson on Family Guy, ladies champion at the World Series of Poker in '05, Canadian and U.S. citizenship by birth, so we know she's got a good heart. Always glad to have her nearby. Jennifer Tilley, thank you.
Hi, Lon. I'm really happy to be here. The ladies' event is near and dear to my heart, and it's so exciting to be here calling this final table.
We'll get to Jamie in just a second, as we do have a hand developing right off the bat. Eisenberg raising with 8s. JJ Liu, who had been one of the big stacks forever in this tournament with pocket aces, 3 bets to 300,000.
I think here's a situation where JJ's aggressive image is going to work for her because these girls have been playing together for quite a while, and I think Eisenberg thinks she's maybe being pushed around a little bit.
Next to Liu, Eisenberg, the most experienced, and you look at results, the most prolific, I guess, casher of the group, but she's way behind JJ Liu, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I've played with Liu a lot of times. She's a formidable person at the poker table. She's somebody that Eisenberg might re-race her. She could re-race her all in.
She does give it up,
though. She folds. Wow.
Good fold.
Good fold. Good
saved herself a lot of chips. And so to complete my intro, Jamie Kerstetter, born in New Jersey, self-disbarred attorney, little known fact, washed-up soccer player. Only her quick wit and her smarts and her dog Crouton, almost as famous as my poker dog Chachi, really saving her. Jen was also Oscar nominated, as mentioned. Little known fact, Jamie actually won the Oscar that year for that movie. And so Jamie hasn't won the ladies championship as Jen has. She did run her pocket queens into ace king and her ace queen into king queen to bust out on day 2. Little known fact. Glad you're here.
Thanks a lot, Lon. Always happy to see you, Lon.
Jamie will be joining Norman, Chad, and I in the booth for this year's main event coverage, which you can watch on PokerGo.
Raise 135.
So, how is this going to play out? I mean, nervous early on. We all talked to them ahead of time, and they didn't seem that nervous. But is it going to start out a little slow? We had a chance to have a big hand early on.
I think Aoki has a really big advantage, having gotten second in this event before, just knowing what it's like to be in this pressure situation where we look at the bios of most of the other women besides JJ, and most don't have very high amounts in earnings, and they probably haven't been at a feature table with all the lights and cameras and everything. So I kind of think I would be pretty nervous at the start if I've never been in this spot before.
What do you think of this 3-bet sizing, though? That's monstrous.
She put her all in. Yeah, I think she's trying to apply the pressure. When you're the big stack, you really just want to put fear, instill fear in the smaller stacks. Obviously, JJ's not going to call unless she's you know, it'd be sort of a loose call. I think she's Hollywooding a little bit.
I did not see her drinking before the
Yeah.
show started, so I think she's probably going to fold.
Yeah, she's Hollywooding. She doesn't want the other girls to think she's, you know, speeding, especially since she had the pocket aces in the hand before. She doesn't need to go to battle now.
Also, if you're wearing an outfit that cool, you want some camera time.
Right.
The earrings are large playing cards. Yeah. and
I
the
always
rings-
love to see her at the poker table. Not even when she's on camera. She always wears the really fun hats, and you know she looks cute and cuddly, but she's like a Care Bear with teeth.
Yep.
Hall
I
of
wanted
Fame
to
member.
mention also, she should be out of this tournament. I was at her table day 2. She just flatted queens to a 3-bet, a late position, went cutoff button, 15K to 45K. She just flatted queens.
Wow.
Check folded an 8-7-6 all club board to black kings. She had red queens.
Really?
Didn't put in one more chip.
That's crazy. Sometimes I think some of the best poker players have sort of a sixth sense, like a little bit of a psychic premonition sometimes where I guess the stats would say, what's that thing that everyone does, would say that you should call, but they just know that it's not. They're not ahead. There's a lot of big hands coming up very early on.
Yeah, Aoki's getting some big hands indeed. Ace-queen here. And she raises, and she will take it down. So, yeah, I think I have that sense, but I ignore it. I was in a deep stack yesterday, and it was like short stack, all in. Guy right behind just slams it in. And I looked down at pocket kings, and it's like, he's got aces. Call.
Right.
You know?
Well, you can't start folding pocket kings.
You're right.
Yeah, somebody folded pocket kings to me once, Lucky Chewy, and I had aces. It was pretty
Really?
annoying. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then he packed up his chips and he went home. So he couldn't even get them later on.
One of my friends was bragging to me about how he folded pocket kings 3 times pre-flop. And I was like, wow, sick brag. And he goes, oh, I was wrong every time.
But he can do it. It can be done. And I think it was the very first World Series I ever did with Norman, where Helmuth folded kings pre-flop. He says, no one else in poker, and that's how I learned about Phil Helmuth early on. And he folded the king, showed the kings and folded.
And was he right?
I can't remember that far back.
You know who has that
he was, yeah.
sixth sense and always ignores it? Not always, obviously. One of the greatest poker players, Daniel Negreanu. So many times you hear him saying, like, oh, you have a flush, don't you? And then they show the flush after he calls. And he goes, I knew it.
It's emotional hedging.
Yes,
You're
yes.
like, you lose the chips, but you feel a little better. You're like, I called it at least.
That's right.
It's like being upstuck, which was coined by your man
I
there.
love that.
You know, and yeah, I was right. I lost chips, but I was right, and I feel better. It's all about feeling better about yourself and continuing on with your game and shed the bad thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And that's key, I think. You have to have the confidence to play. And I haven't played live poker for a long, long time until yesterday when I arrived, and I decided to change things up. And I found that if you bet at the right time, people will fold, no matter what you have. But you didn't hear that from me. So Brooke, as she says, that's how people know me. So we're going to call her Brooke, Debora Brooke. And she raised it up with 6-4, or she just limped with 6-4. And now Eisenberg with the raise. JJ Liu, a freshly minted hotelier.
She limped with a 6-4 on the button? That's an interesting play, but I guess she has $4 million in chips, so she feels like she can.
She did tell
be a
me
little
she
gambling.
likes to play small cards
Right.
that are connectors. She likes to play small pots, and that's how she got here to this final table, looking for her first World Series of cash. So we can't say that it has always worked for her.
Right.
So we'll see.
The thing that's interesting about the final table here, it's 5-handed. So short-handed, you have to be a little more gambly because people aren't always going to wake up with ace-king or pocket pairs. So the person that's more aggressive is going to pick up the blinds and antes, which are huge at this point. And also the 3 small stacks, it looks like, well, they have $1 million, but I mean, it could be sudden death at any time. So the big stacks, I think they're applying pressure on the small stacks and making their stacks bigger.
Brooke
I
and
think-
Aoki, the 2 big stacks.
I think that's why I would prefer. It's okay if Brooke wants to fold buttons when they're bottom 10% of hands, but I think she should be coming in for a raise, putting pressure on Eisenberg and Liu,
Yeah.
who want to make some pay jumps against each other.
Yeah, I think it's probably better to come in for a raise on the button when you have a substandard hand, because now you're representing that you have a better hand than you do, and it's easier to bluff the flop.
Brooke's been playing a lot of online in Delaware, where she lives. She actually lives very near where our President Joe Biden now has his beach house in Delaware. So she's been having fun. They're her dog sitter. has a party going at her house
Really?
for this event.
Oh,
So
that's cute.
congratulations and good luck to everyone who's been invited to the dog sitters party
Yeah, and
in
also
Brooke's house.
Wanted to say good boy or good girl if you're watching at home.
All right, sit, sit. I always
This
try that, see if
Is
that
the
works.
second time that Eisenberg got King Jack in a row? Or did she have King Queen before? Oh, so now she's gonna
Wow,
run into a
another
little
big hand for
trouble
Aoki,
here.
yeah. Aoki, sorry.
Aoki is gonna obviously raise her, and Ace Queen.
It's 11. I had 12, 1.25.
You always hate to hear the big stack asking
Yep.
you that, when you, especially when you have a playable hand and you suspect that maybe they're pushing you around. Aoki might just let's see what she's gonna do.
Aoki, as mentioned, finished second in the ladies event in 2014. She then went on to a huge cash in the main event. She said she never would have played the main event had she not had that deep run in the women's event. So
There really is such a thing as having a streak, and you know, and you see she's getting very good cards, and she's a big stack. Sometimes it's your time, and when you know how to play the cards, also.
I was going to mention, I like that she didn't just jam for about 25 or 26 big blinds effective, because she's going to want to make this play when she doesn't have good cards too, and apply pressure to the short stack. So choosing just this, she had about a 6.5 big blind raise instead, gives her a chance to do this more often with worse cards.
And I got to say, just seeing that camera shot right there, this is my first show of the year. It's so thrilling to be back to work.
It's really nice.
How do you guys feel about this whole WSOP?
Me too. You know, I'm just like I was saying to Jamie earlier, I'm just like so itching to get back to the felt, but obviously I'm a little nervous about the whole,
we
all
all
the
are.
tables close together, but it's just really fun to be back here watching these ladies
I
play.
mean, there are a few scofflaws out there who are not putting the mask on or whatever, but I've found security have been talking to people. I've heard that poker players are talking to poker players, trying to, you know, keep everybody in line and make it safe for us all. So we can, I mean, they could shut this thing down tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they
What
wanted to,
I
you
love
know?
about this time of the year, even if I'm not here, is the poker Twitter. And Jamie's the queen of poker Twitter, so you know all about that.
She does enough for both.
But I love how people get really upset about things.
Oh yeah, we're like the grumpiest group of people in the world, poker players. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
With the easiest jobs in the world.
Yep.
here there's ace, ace, 5. Usually it's pretty good odds nobody has an ace. I think if Aoki bets, she could take it unless Eisenberg decides to get a little tricky because she's short stacked. She doesn't want to. So she's going to take a stab at it, and I think Aoki is probably going to call.
125,000.
Eisenberg with the
Oh,
bet,
no.
and Aoki does fold the
Wow.
pocket pair.
To the aggressor goes the spoils.
Well, you see the overcard come out there with the two aces, and you think
It was
maybe,
also
maybe I can steal this one away. Outside of JJ Liu, Lara Eisenberg with really the best success on the felt. As you see, her bio board brought to you by GPI THM, the live poker collective. She is a physician, a radiologist. She's set world records for skydiving, some Silver Spring, not Silver Springs, as our buddy Norman Chad reminds us, because he's from Silver Spring, Maryland as well. So happy to have her out here. She looks very confident when I talked to her earlier. She's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring, the only hardware won by anybody at this table.
Raise.
She's got one of the best coaches in the biz too. She's coached by Ape Styles, John Van Fleet. She was one of his first students, and she actually is a member of BBZ coaching now.
Okay, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she has some tricks up her sleeve. She works in Sims and does a lot of ICM work, which is very rare for a ladies event.
Fold. Call, 125.
Raising a call.
So-
Liu and Aoki. Aoki's been very blessed with cards so far, very active. And when you find a chip leader very active early on, you're not quite sure
Yeah,
really
sometimes
what's
you
going on.
suspect they're up to something. What we have here is 2 substandard aces. Oh, now this could be trouble for
Ace is up for Aoki.
Liu unless a heart comes out, because when you're 5-handed, you're suspecting the odds that somebody else is playing with an ace in their hand is a little bit lower.
Brooke with a draw as well, so everybody's kind of happy with that.
Especially if the person with the other ace has been pretty aggressive all along.
Yeah, and with the delay, they don't know that Aoki's been just getting good cards. for the most part.
But do you think that they've been playing for the last couple days? When I played in the main event, the last 3, I knew how everybody played after a while because it gets down to 3 and then it gets down to 2 before you make the final table. So
It's tough though because you don't see cards a lot of the time. Like when you're playing a table
right.
that's not streamed, you
That's
only
true.
see the showdown. So sometimes you're like, I think this person's up to something, but you don't actually get to see.
that's true. But you have an idea of how the other person plays. So, you know, you're like, that person is up. I almost busted the ladies' event the second to last day because there's a girl that was so aggressive, and I always thought she was full of it. And I bet she raised, I re-raised, all in she called. I was like, oh, I had pocket 7, she had pocket queens, and then I had a 7.
Ooh.
And busted, like, the best player at the table. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Were you sorry?
Oh, no, I was sorry, not sorry, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's poker. So Aoki is raising here. Now, Liu is put to decision for the rest of her stack, essentially. Oh, I'm Aoki. I've been mispronouncing your name.
She will accept Aoki, but she prefers Aoki.
Yeah, I'm doing phonetics.
That's fine.
I think Liu is, now she has a very difficult decision. She is probably going to fold. She might put her on a flush draw. You know, obviously she could have a better ace.
I think the sizing wise, it would make me want to fold if I'm Liu. I think if Aoki has some kind of combo draw, she'd make it much bigger and put way more
Yes.
pressure on her whole stack.
If she calls here, it's for her whole stack. She's not
Pretty
going to
much.
call. She'll either go all in or fold. I think she might fold.
I
If she
agree.
had a better kicker, she'd be in trouble. But that's kind of not the way you want to go.
The
out.
old mantra is like, you play a weak ace, what do you want to hit?
2 pair.
Yeah, exactly.
But 5-handed ace 3 is not. It's a pretty good hand. I mean, she could.
Right. No, you're right about the
So
short-handed. Yeah.
she could think that she has a flush draw or a jack or, you know, a straight draw. She could think she has, like, you know, pocket queens, something like that. You're always suspecting the big stack is up to something, especially when they're as aggressive as Aoki.
And
she
JJ
folds.
Liu does find a fold.
She does manage to dodge those tricky moments. That's why she's a champion. She has so many final tables, and I think she's been around for a very long time.
All right. Earlier, our new sideline reporter, Marley Caden, caught up with our
I'm here
chip
with
leader.
chip leader Mikiyo Aoki, who is coming into the final table for the second time. Now, you are dominating this. Since day 2, you have just been on a surge. How do you plan to keep that streak alive today?
I think just picking my spots and applying pressure where I can, and just kind of taking a seat back if someone is really trying to take the reins. Just trying to stay patient and not force anything. Kind of just let the cards come to me.
And this is not your first appearance at the final table. You were runner-up in 2014. How does it feel to be back, and will you do anything differently today?
Yeah, it feels amazing to be back. I feel like it's pretty rare to get a second chance. So, yeah, just hoping that I can take the bracelet this time around, and I guess let the cards kind of fall where they can.
And I know your brother taught you how to play poker. Is he at home watching, and how proud is he?
Oh, yeah, no. So actually, he was supposed to fly back. He's been in Vegas, and he was supposed to fly back to Bozeman today, but he canceled his flight, so he's going to be here on the rail supporting me. So, honestly, it just means a ton to me to have him here, and really excited.
All right, well, best of luck. We'll see how the cards fold.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Mikiyo.
Heads up.
Good to have family poker players. Speaking of family, the thing I have a problem with poker is I had terrible skin as a teenager. My mom said, "Don't pick your spots." And now in poker, they say, "Pick your spots all day long."
Oh my God!
Are
I
you
feel.
Norman Chad?
I was just gonna say that. I'm waiting for the ex-wife joke. And I'll be
You know,
like,
you
"All
live
right."
with somebody for 20 years and you can become them, right?
Right.
Oh, that does not bode well for me.
Did Norm say, I have a free jug for you. You can have
You
this
can
one
have-
for free.
Everything was turned down I get in my e-box.
One of his rejects. You don't even have to pay me for that, Lon. Where is Mr. Chad today?
He is playing in the horse tournament with
Wow.
Maury Escandani, our
Oh my
exec
gosh.
producer. They're both there. They both have chips after surviving day one.
So
Maury was one
fun.
of the big stacks yesterday. Had about 180,000 a short while ago, and he checked. Norman, what did we say, like 100,000 or so? 100 and something thousand?
I would
So-
love to see both of them at the final table.
Then they'd be
So entertaining.
insufferable. Maury's already, he wears his little Hall of Fame necklace around, you know, so you can't talk to the man.
Here's another big hand. Brooke has
Brooke
ace
with ace
king.
king, yeah.
Raise.
So the action was pretty quick getting down to the final 5 yesterday. And this is
This
Yes,
might
you can
be
see how it
trouble
goes.
for Liu again. She's
Yeah.
short stacked. Brooke is a big stack. She might possibly push.
under 800,000 for JJ Liu, Hall of Famer. Recently bought a hotel outside Bristol, Tennessee, because she heard that Bristol, Virginia, where her hotel is going to approve gaming out there, and the Hard Rock is going to build a casino. And she thought, I'm going to buy a hotel and make money. And
Good for
so
her.
a great businesswoman to do that. She said it's been a lot of fun.
Well, it could be trouble if an ace comes out, because somebody as active as Brooke, you're not going to put him on an ace. I'm always saying this. I'm always wrong. It's never trouble because JJ seems to have
It's
a
going to be
sixth sense,
3,
like
4,
I said.
7 probably. Oh, King Jack 10.
Okay, this I think is going to be a bet and take it by
Yeah.
Brooke, possibly. Unless
Well,
JJ decides to get a little tricky. See?
now Brooke with top pair, top kicker.
Good for Brooke. You
Both
can't
with
see
the wheel
that's
draw.
sort of a question, and there's the answer, and Lou's going to
And
fold.
JJ gets a lot of info with that call, right?
Yeah, of course. And, you know, she's just thinking like,
Of
well,
raising
you know,
it.
maybe, you know, the person could have suited connectors, pocket eights, whatever. She's like,
Well,
let's
JJ's
just
seen
see.
it all. She knows this could happen. I got another ace, and I hit an ace, and now I'm behind. I mean,
Yeah.
she knows that. She's not going to panic in this situation.
And her bet sizing was sort of questioning. She's like, you know, I admire her that she's the shortest stack at the table now, but she's not afraid to mix it up. So by
you go.
just calling, she's sort of like implying that she has a big hand that she wants to play, and now she's implying that she did not have such a big hand after all.
Debora Brooke picking up some more chips, still over 4 million. As we see her bio board, brought to you by GPI THM, the Live Poker Collective. Retired from law enforcement, as mentioned, lives in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And live tourney earnings, no, that's all of them. There are no commas, there are no extra zeros, $404.
$404.
Yeah.
Well, good for her. So this is
And,
going to be her biggest cash.
Yeah, guaranteed
By
over
about
26,000.
80 times or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Second biggest stack. Fifth place goes out at 26,400, and so yeah,
That's
a
got-
good day
that's
for
gotta
all.
be
Here comes
awfully
JJ
encouraging.
with a suited
Yeah.
jack.
She's looking for a place to push. She's on the button. You just push and pray. Hope that the small blind, big blind don't wake up with something. So far, so good.
And now Cooley with jack 4.
She's not going to call.
Not going to call.
That's
so
a
JJ will-
bold move. Those
There you
blinds
go.
and antes when you're short stack really add up. I used to, when I was short stack sometimes, and it went full to me, and I knew I had to shove, I would close my eyes behind my sunglasses. Because I knew if I looked at my cards, I pretend to look, I would lose my nerve. But I knew the correct play would be, you've got to shove here, Jennifer. You just have to.
Take a look at JJ Liu's bio board, also brought to you by GPI THM. Real estate, as I mentioned, she's got a hotel. Lives in Vegas. She used to be a computer engineer, got her degree, moved to Silicon Valley, was there during the boom times, and has been just such a force in poker. Biggest win, or biggest result pretty much coming in the U.S. Second place to Ted Forrest, and one
Wasn't
of the
there a crazy story about that at the Bay 101 where she was pregnant, and she really pregnant? She made the final day.
oh, I think I've heard that.
Yeah, I was kind of looking it up, but I couldn't find the story. But I remember at the time I was just astonished at her fortitude.
But looking at her handed mob results, it really is like a trip down poker's memory
we might
lane.
have-
What's going on the last 25 years and what events played
Yeah.
and everything like that. It's
Yep,
really
I
fun.
used to see her all the time in tournaments. She's always so fun to look at, the way she puts herself together. She has fun with it. She's like,
She's a really cool person, too. She's fun
Yeah.
to play with. She's to my direct left day 2, and just really fun. Just and very sticky and aggressive, and
Yeah.
just, tough to play against.
So Cooley's shove gets through with jacks.
yeah.
When you were talking about closing your eyes behind your sunglasses. I used to hide my screens when I'd play online. I would,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I was all in, I'd just cover the screen with something and then see if I was still there when I removed it.
Diane.
That's like Annette Oberstrom. That's how she won the WSOP Europe. Well, no, she won the WSOP Europe, but she said that she used to play that way for
She
practice.
put a Post-it note over her cards.
Yeah.
whole cards, yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You saw Diane Cooley. You look at her Hindenburg now, a little different from JJ Liu's. 11 results and 8 of them final tables, and now at 9 of 12. So not huge events, just local events, and but still, she gets there.
There's a lot of great female poker players out there. I know there's controversy. Some man entered the tournament. I always feel like it's a little bit insulting to the women because he's implying the field is so soft that he's got 9,000. He
Oh,
can play
come on,
9,000
though.
more than everybody else and have an advantage.
I love that. If someone thinks they're 10 times better than me, please come sit at my table and pay 10 times the amount, and we'll find out if that's true.
This was a $1,000 buy-in for the ladies, and because of that, incident that has happened through the years of men entering, they've made it a $10,000 event for men because they can't legally exclude one sex from the other sex's exclusive tournament. But I saw a picture of Sean Deeb, somebody.
Yeah,
so I
he
don't know if that
played
was for
years
real.
ago. No,
yeah, that
Haley
wasn't this year.
Hofstadler was making
There
a
was a
joke.
guy that did play. He said he's donating all his winnings, or if he won anything, to a women's
I
charity.
would like to talk about
that was
that,
this
though.
year. Yeah.
That reason is so ridiculous to
I
me
agree.
because just donate the money then.
I think what happens.
Donate the 10K
Without
before you get
playing.
here.
Yeah.
I think they don't realize how strong the censure is when they sit down at the table. When I played the ladies' tournaments, there were little pockets of deep unhappiness, and they were the tables where the men were sitting, and you could see the men starting to look more and more sheepish and uncomfortable as the day wore on. I think they thought maybe it would be a fun lark, and then they started to feel kind of ashamed of
There
themselves.
are things that are really bad about it. Like, I think if they think it's going to be funny and they don't mind donating the 10K, the prize pool, and whatever, then you knock out someone, and that's their tournament. They play one big tournament a year,
Yeah.
and you
It
knock
does
out
affect
some
the whole
lady, and you're
field.
like,
It affects the whole field.
And if you probably do feel bad, I don't want to like knock out some grandma in a tournament I'm not supposed to be in.
And I don't
Yeah.
know what the point is they're trying to get across.
Well, a lot of the girls, they save up all year to come to the World Series of Poker, and it's $1,000 is a lot of money, and to get knocked out by a guy, it's just like, oh, this is awful. I came to play with other women, and some guy
Yeah.
in a dress knocked me out.
There was someone online who has responded to a post I made, and he said, well, where's the men's tournament then? And it gave me that vibe of like, when you're a kid and it's Mother's Day and you're like, when's Kids Day? And your mom's like, Kids Day is every day.
Other
Every
day,
day
yeah,
is
right.
Kids' Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here we have Eisenberg, top pair. No, middle pair. But that board is kind of scary because somebody could easily have a straight or be drawing to a straight.
Exactly what Brooke loves to do with her cards.
And now this is even more like a straight. I think it might just be check to the end. Oh, look. Just going to take a stab at it.
I like this by Brooke. She's just, it's a little
Yeah.
small. She's letting Eisenberg get in there, but I do like the idea of betting here. I just think I would make it a little bigger and make Eisenberg really put to the test with her 900K stack.
This is the thing the kids do online now. They bet they play like actors at a charity tournament. So now if somebody had a jack straight, well, if they had a jack, they had a straight already. I think we're looking at
Look, I don't know if JJ's
Check,
thing. I
check.
didn't see what JJ folded,
check.
but she's looking like she made this hand at some point.
you might. That's always bad.
And
you
the
know, when
9
you're-
will carry it for Eisenberg.
Huge come up for Eisenberg now. She's way ahead of the bottom 2 stacks, and she has a playable stack for the first time in a little while.
So Eisenberg, who came in as a short stack, with the 2 others basically, now up to $1.5 million.
Even those small pots make a huge difference when you're, at the final table.
All right, we have trivia. Hey, when was the first WSOP ladies event held? What was the buy-in? This is 3 of them.
Oh.
right?
Are
What
we
was
answering,
the
or is this for
discipline?
the viewers? I can guess the discipline.
Do you know for sure? Well, yeah, no,
I'll
give
guess. I
events.
think it's probably limit hold'em because that was sort of always the ladies' game.
Oh, is
I
that
thought
right?
it was like stud or something. I remember thinking it was really weird. I learned
Yeah.
to
about
have
this a while
that be
ago.
part of the question might
Right,
mean
right.
that it's not Hold'em, right?
Yeah.
No, not hold'em. I meant limit stud.
Yeah.
And I remember
okay.
they started the first ladies' event. I don't remember when it was, but it was so the ladies would have something to do, while their husbands are at the World Series of Poker. It was sort of started
No.
as, how you have like the.
I'm with women that their thing to do while I'm playing poker is to go play poker.
Yeah.
Hey. But it was kind of, I think it used to be held on Mother's Day, too, if I don't recall.
That does sound familiar
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the World Series was in May,
Yeah.
April and May. So that would make sense because now the men's, the senior event's on Father's Day. So
Sometimes I don't play the ladies. I always try to play it because, you know, I have such a sentimental attachment to it. But lots of times you're in the middle of another tournament. There's like so many tournaments of the World Series
They
of poker.
did that. They had the monster
Fabulous,
stack right
yeah.
before it a couple years in a row, and I didn't get to play it, and I felt like something was missing in the
You feel
summer.
rewarded.
well,
Yeah.
you can graduate out of it. I mean, not that it's a minor league or anything, but there's so many women who look for an event that they want to feel comfortable in, and it is a bit of a risk for the people who aren't pros and all
So-
like that. And then you can
Brooke has a flush draw here, and Eisenberg has ace high, which is, that's interesting. It looks like the flush draw is 58% and ace high is 42%. Some aces,
Ice High's ahead right now.
but why is it 42%? I'm confused.
Uh,
Oh, she maybe has a, okay.
just because Brooke had a bigger percentage.
Thanks, Lon. Resident math guy, Lon McCarran.
No club.
Okay, so too many cards came out here. Now Eisenberg has one.
And Eisenberg is just going to have a 2 million chip stack after this. Brooke, let's see
Yeah.
if Brooke puts in a little bluff here. We saw her try earlier.
The time to bluff might have been like semi-bluff on the flop or on the turn. At this point, she knows that
Yeah,
she's kind of lost
And these
control
are
of the
the
hand.
exact cards that she loves to play. This is her
Yeah.
bailiwick, you know. She really likes playing the suited connectors.
Yeah, so it's a bet and a fold.
It's a quick
and a
fold,
quick
yeah.
fold and a
very
quick fold. Yeah.
She's not putting on any airs.
Sometimes also when you're the big stack, it can turn around in like 10 minutes. All of a sudden, you can be the small stack. So sometimes you just want to not be as
Keep the pot
gambly.
small.
Yeah, and keep the pot small, and you don't want to give the small stacks room to breathe. You know, it's like a fire. You don't want to give it air because then it's gonna turn into an inferno.
And yeah, Eisenberg jumps out of airplanes, and I know people who are pilots that say, "Why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane?"
Right.
And but yeah, in formation, I actually knew somebody I went to school with who became one of these people that does huge formations with hundreds of skydivers.
That sounds dangerous.
Oh yeah.
You guys, these ladies are all cooler than me. They're all too cool for school.
Yeah, I looked at JJ's outfit and I was like, I'm not cool enough to hang out
I'm
with
not
her.
worthy. I'm not
Yeah.
worthy.
And then I see the skydiving thing, like she's too cool. I'm like, I don't know. Like
Former cop.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it. That's one of the things I love about the ladies' tournament is just meeting these ladies
Yes.
from all over the world and hearing their stories.
And that there's like a barrier to entry for women in poker. Like I think it's coming down, but it took a lot of confidence and not feeling intimidated when you walk in. And I feel like that kind of weeds out people who aren't cool. So when you sit at a table like with I'm like, I know their stories are cool.
Right, yeah.
It's the chattiest event. It's amazing.
Yeah,
All right.
it's just like so much female bonding going on.
Here's the
My
answer.
friend calls it uterus bonding.
Okay, here's the answer.
All right.
1977 first held, buy-ins 100, and 7 cards.
7 card
Let's
stud,
go.
which is
There
a
you go.
great game. This is one thing I love about World Series of Poker. You can play 7 card stud and 5 card and do 7 and all these games that aren't usually, laid out at your home game.
Do you remember anything about 1977?
I
Anybody?
do. I hate to say it. I think that was my first year of college, and I remember going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, throwing toilet paper at the screen.
I was
one of my fond memories.
driving on Daytona Beach on a road trip and realizing you could drive on the beach here. And we went in, my best friend and I went to a gift shop. We were early in college as well, and heard that Elvis had died that day, August 16th, 1977.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I remember when John Lennon died. My sister and I were sobbing. We couldn't stop crying, and our boyfriends were younger than us. They were like, "What's wrong with you girls?" Because we grew up with the Beatles. Yeah.
I was working for a radio station in Santa Barbara when it happened, and immediately went down to the station and we started collecting all the Beatles stuff and started playing it all. It was
Right.
quite a sad moment.
It's really intense.
How do we get to that? Yeah. Anyway, this
Look at
is
that
the World
beautiful
Series
bracelet,
of Poker.
but
Ladies
made by
Championship. Yeah.
Johnston's.
It's a beautiful bracelet.
beautiful
It's what all
bling.
the bracelet winners will earn this year. We're looking for a double
Ace king
bracelet
for
winner again to
Lou.
keep our
I
live
think we're
stream
looking
alive.
at shovity-dovity. There we go.
Just over 600,000.
And hope for Lou that maybe somebody wakes up with something interesting. Not aces, obviously. And she could perhaps
A little harder,
level up.
just 5-handed.
Because she's very small stack. anybody is going to call that has something playable. But it looks like she's going to get this one through.
So not going to happen.
Yeah, she
And
increases her
JJ
stack
Liu
by
will-
150, a little breathing room.
Do you think she chose her outfit to match the bracelet?
Yep, indeed.
Except
All
for
right,
the bracelet
so
doesn't look that gold. It looks sort of silvery, but I'm sure it's the light.
all right, let's learn a little bit more about Lara Eisenberg from Marley Caden down on the floor.
Lara Eisenberg, or I should say Dr. Lara Eisenberg, is a radiologist from Silver Spring, Maryland. Now, she had her first cash in a WSOP event back in 2016 and has since had 3 more, including one just this week in the Millionaire Maker. She's ranked in Maryland's top 100 players and regularly plays in tournaments along the East Coast. Now, she is a very aggressive player, and her fearlessness is something she likely garnered spending 2 decades as a competitive skydiver. Thrill-seeking is in her blood, and she's sure to have some thrills today.
I have some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Competitive skydiver. Are you trying to get
Exactly.
down faster than everyone else?
I was going to say, there are ways to win that competition.
Just put some heavy stones in your pocket.
It is, yeah, I guess there's definitely rules and formations and stuff like that, but it's, yeah, competitive. You don't want to be competitive up there, right?
No, you
I'm
just
fine with
wanna-
losing that one. I'll get down slowest. My parachute works. I'm happy about it.
You just want to live. That's all.
Have you ever done it or thought about it?
I'm not going to. No.
No.
I've thought about it, but I have not done it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Phil once bungee jumped off like the tallest building in Macau, and he came home and he had broken all these little blood vessels in his
no.
forehead. He's like, I think maybe I shouldn't do that again.
Oh, I never thought
That's
of that.
crazy.
I
I
never
guess it
heard
was
of
just
that.
such an intense experience.
Did it
Right.
hurt while he was doing it, or
No,
he
not
realized
all-
it later?
He had a head rush, but there were all these little dots of. So Cooley has ace-9 of spades, which is also it's a super sexy hand. Somebody had that earlier.
Is that when
Like, good for a
Phil
raise.
adopted the goggles to play poker? When he had,
No, that was earlier. He's always coming home from trips. I'm always like, really, I hope he comes home in one piece because he's sort of a daredevil. He likes adventure and excitement, but
Good.
you know, happily both of us are slowing down a little. So Cooley picks up the
It's a
blinds and
different
antes.
pace of life now, isn't it? You enjoying it that way?
Oh my God, we love life so much. I never realized how much we loved life, and you know, the older you get, the more you love life. Like we don't want it to ever end, and you know, you get to our age, people start dropping around you, and it really
Yeah, at our age.
it's
too.
very poignant. Yeah, you're like wow.
Especially in the last year. A lot of people have.
Unexpectedly, a lot of people we knew.
Yeah, it's been very sad. And there's yeah, a lot of people here who just feel. I can understand how they may be getting out of line. Obviously, it's Vegas, but they've been released from the bottle too.
Right.
You know, and there are some of us still that want to be in the bottle maybe for
Very-
a little longer, and we're envious of them.
I'm
you know.
cautiously leaving the bottle.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're a kid and
Slowly.
you don't want to move too far away from
Just
base.
peeking over the edge, you know. And
Shove, shove,
here
shove.
comes
And
JJ with
Brooke
another
is probably
ace.
going to call. I'm sure she wanted to play that hand, but not for all in. I mean, Brooke is probably going to fold. That's what I meant. It's especially good, and it's kind of really brave of Liu to go all in there because Brooke did raise under the gun. So you suspect
She
that
limped, actually. I think the limp is what made Lou go
Oh,
all
she
in.
limped. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand that there's a shortage of chips, but I think it's always a little bit better to raise in min
For
raise
sure.
Sure.
because you can possibly take the pot down without any struggle. And if they do call you, then you can represent you have a bigger hand on the pot. But you know, this is a new style of play that people are doing. So it's
Yeah, it is indeed.
it puzzles people. Yes, you were going to.
I was going to
talk
mention
about the stats.
it's number 3 on the all-time female cashing list is JJ
JJ Liu. Yes.
Maria Ho on that list as well. Kathy
Yeah.
Liebert up top.
I get you.
No surprise there either. Liebert is just in the mix all the time.
And it's astonishing she's at the top because, according to her, she's semi-retired. I mean, that list has changed a lot in the last 15 years. I used to be number 16. Now I'm number 44. And all the people up at the top are a lot of people that have come up recently. I
That's
feel
great, though. It just means more
Well, the
women
numbers
are
are
getting
bigger
into the
now.
game.
Yeah, there's so many great female poker players now, and
But the results are bigger too. They're richer. Anything, you know.
it's true.
So
but I
it's
think
easier to climb the list.
It's yeah, possibly. But there's such great female poker players.
Absolutely. You know, and I do want to use this show as kind of a platform for the women out there who want to feel comfortable to play poker. And there are, you know, a number of websites, Twitter accounts. Two of them I'm going to mention. Power Poker is at Join Power Poker. You just go there and scroll through their timeline. You can see so much helpful information, coaches, and they really try. It's not just poker. It's empowering women through poker for the rest of their life, and also the Women's Poker Association,
Aoki
which
again.
is WPA Global. So check it out on Twitter, and you'll get a lot of good stuff.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was like, Aoki's putting Liu to the test. When you're a short stack, everything's like an all-in test. I think Liu's probably gonna. She's
How many
probably
weak
going
aces
too
can
full.
she have?
I know it's hard because sometimes she's not getting those for sure hands that you want to push all in with.
I love the olive oil T-shirt, by the way. That is
Yeah.
olive oil, right? From Popeye?
Looks like it.
I think if she had a better kicker, like even if she had ace 10, she'd probably shove. But I think it's again a fold. It's all about survival, and especially at the final table, you do want to move up the pay scale. The pay jumps are substantial.
This one's about 10,000. This pay bump is about 10,000. 26.4 for the next to go out. 36.2 for fourth place,
And I don't even think she's JJ looking at the pay jumps. I think she really wants
Oh,
to
no.
double up and win. I mean, obviously, everyone's always looking at the pay jumps, but, you know, she has been a formidable force, and she doesn't have any bracelets, and she's very close. I think this is not a hand that you want to go out on, but, you know, who could blame her for being suspicious and thinking that Aoki is up to tricks, because Aoki has been very, very active at this final table.
I'm curious if they do have support. We are on tonight 45-minute delay. If they're going to have people, and obviously nobody's walked away from the table because it's shorthanded, things happen quickly, so you don't really have that opportunity. But during a break, which I don't believe they're going to have a break. They might have a short break at some point. If we play long enough, they'd have to. Then they can get some information.
Yeah,
But
for sure they'll get information from
Yeah.
their significant others. This is very interesting. Is if she's gonna call.
I mean, does
That's
this?
a
I mean,
risky
people
play.
sometimes pause just to say, "I'm folding a big hand." Is that
No, I think
worthwhile at all?
I think she really had a difficult decision
Okay.
there. I think she was contemplating pushing. So if she called, it would be because of her stack size. It would be sort of a strange play.
But she hasn't been a bully either, Aoki. Well, we know she hasn't been.
I know she. I think we know she hasn't been.
Right.
But to them, it's like she's a big stack. She's pulling the table.
She's had a good chance to create that.
And even
aura.
if she had a decent hand, like a king, queen, or whatever, then
Yep.
JJ's ahead.
Okay. Well, this year, PokerGO is the exclusive home for World Series of Poker live streams like this one. PokerGO has all the WSOP action you can handle. 36 straight days of coverage, including the entire 10K main event, right here on PokerGO. So yeah, the main event, live, all the way through.
Lon, you have a very manly, soothing voice.
Manly, that's just from being worn out. You should have heard me earlier. I got kidded in high school and college for my nasally voice, and if you just
Really?
get it thrashed enough with
Such a
Of all the things they could make
So-
fun of you for, they made fun of your
the-
voice. That's
Oh
crazy.
wow, I love it. Thank
Lou,
you.
I think, is going
Getting
to
her warmed up.
push.
And now look at
She's
JJ
gonna
with
go all in.
a big.
And
Queen of
there you go.
Hearts.
And she's probably hoping she gets called. That's such a super sexy hand.
Well, she likes the new dealer. Ginger
Mm-hmm.
is because of the hair, but actual name is Chris Keem
Mm-hmm.
from Buffalo. So things have changed up. Started out with Mario Romero.
She's
And come on,
waving.
let's get the crowd cheering for JJ.
Yay, JJ! Woo! It's funny how
a
sedate the
million.
crowd is. I mean, obviously, it's a disparate sort of huddled masses.
It is so
with a crowd.
strange. I was sweating.
Okay.
Two of my friends, Terrence Chan and Jason Somerville, made the 10K limit final table, and it felt like a library. It's like we're all looking at each other like, are we allowed to cheer? Like, what's going on
Exactly.
here?
It kinda sounds silly if you
like having
do.
some of the seats blocked off and having it be
Right.
like people on one side and the other, you feel strange cheering. And
Yeah.
usually the Thunderdome's like pretty raucous.
I love when the like in times past when the English people, because they're used
They're
to making so much
amazing.
noise at their soccer
The
tournaments.
songs,
The songs,
Drinking
the
out of
cheering,
shoes.
the drinking, yes.
That was you, by the way. Oh, no, Maria Ho. It was Maria Ho. Right.
Maria drank out of his shoe.
You would have, though.
I would have. Yeah.
A male shoe or a female shoe?
I think she drank out of her own boot.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's one of
gosh.
those things you do and you go,
Goodness.
oh, the alcohol kills the germs, which I don't know if that's true.
So Lou came way ahead here. She might not know that, but she's, you know, as Antonio would say, it's hard to get a pair. I think
Hard
she
to make
knows
a
where
pair.
she's at. She's
Yep.
going to check in.
Do you remember Antonio? You guys kind of dissed him.
I love Antonio. Who dissed him?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, yeah.
It was a COVID thing.
I think she's waiting for, she's waiting for Aoki to make a play, but Aoki didn't do it.
No.
And then she would, maybe have shoved. I think she knows exactly where she's at, especially now after everybody checking to the river.
Going to pay her off.
Yeah, there you go. Nice
Just in
value
case.
bet by
Just in
JJ
case.
Liu.
Yep.
And I understand the call with Ace Queen.
Sure.
A lot of draws have missed, and the pot's small enough, and the bet's small enough, and you go, okay, I'm not going to let myself get bluffed by such a small bet.
And JJ bet to that bet. She checked to the river, so she under-repped her hand.
It wasn't a huge pot, but,
And we've
I
seen
think
JJ's
Aoki,
stab.
no, she doesn't want to give JJ any undeserved chips.
It was
but-
enough to move JJ up to number 4. She made 30% of chips, according to this.
So Aoki's still the chip leader, 5.5 million. Brooke down to second place, 3.14. I say down to second place because she was almost tied for first, but she has lost about $1 million so far. Here is Brooke in action, 10-9 off.
And even when you're the big stack, it always rattles you a little bit when you lose chips because you realize how quickly things can change. So it's always sort of a little bit of a wake-up call, like.
Blind still at 30 and 60 right now. You can see them right up at the top. They are using the big blind ante format, which is pretty standard. So 60K from the big blind to pay the house ante. Aoki with 4s. It's connectors. Pocket 4s hold up.
If anyone takes a stab at this, they'll probably take it down. Aoki would probably fold her 4s. Oh, now.
That's a sweet thing.
Now she's hoping someone has an ace or a king or a
She's
queen.
going to go ahead and bet out here.
She's not going to get any action, sadly, for her.
5,000 for that.
She's
No,
trying to
we
make
checked
it look
around
like
on that flop. Yeah.
She's trying to make it like, oh, I'm taking a stab
Yeah,
at
I just
it.
have a queen. I just have a queen.
Right. I always feel like it's sort of wasted when you have a set and nobody has anything else, especially when there's 2 other people in the hand.
Yeah, when there's no action on the flop, they don't have paint. And,
Well,
it's
somebody
just
could be trapping though.
That's
you know?
true. If
You're
they had
up
a,
against some
two,
small
top 2 or
stacks,
something
they
like that.
wanna get milk some.
Exactly. So up top, 115,694 for the champion and World Series of Poker bracelet that you see right there. 71,005 for second place. It was a $1,000 buy-in, and I do want to mention that Aoki did use a second bullet. You're allowed 1 re-entry.
Oh, really?
And
That's new because
it is.
the many years I've played, you see people wandering, after an hour, the halls crying because they've traveled all this way and they
So
busted out.
Mikiyo did use indeed her second bullet, so it's paid off.
Actually, really, I'm happy that the WSOP has given this event respect by letting it be a 1 re-entry and also starting us with real chips, 20K.
That's
Instead of in years past,
It's like
it started with
1,500.
3,000.
Well, when I
Yeah.
started,
It was 1,500. That's crazy.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
No, they were going dollar for dollar because
Okay,
I
1K.
played
Right.
one of the first events I ever played here a long time ago. Okay, not that long. Senior event, and we sat down to like 2,000 chips, and at that point before the tournament there was a lot of grumbling, and they announced, "Okay, we're going to give you 5,000 more," and they spread out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Lou here with the flush draw, but she bet her flush draw and got Aoki to fold. Yeah, aside from the year that I won, a lot of years I was held for the first break.
Yeah.
It's like it's really hard. You just have to double up right away, get a stack.
My cousin.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you want to play.
You want to play, but it's very, very
Vegas.
hard.
But there's a lot of
because
controversy. Do you need the huge starting stack? Does it
Yeah.
really matter
I
based
think-
on the blind structure that you can make the same thing? 1,000 chips though is hard.
I think it's kind of nice for the ladies, like you say, Jamie, that they can get 20,000, get a little bit of play. They've traveled from all over the world to come and play in this tournament, and they'd like to last more than an hour. So
For sure.
Speaking of having trials and tribulations, we're lucky pretty much to have both of you here today. Last night, Trauma for
Oh
both
my
of you.
gosh.
Car trauma for you, Jen.
Yes.
Soccer trauma for you, Jamie. Both kind of injured in action. I was going to have to do the show alone today.
I'm sure
Jennifer, what happened to you? You a flat tire, I heard, somewhere?
We're driving along. We're driving out from LA because we're afraid to get on a plane. And all of a sudden, I'm drifting off to sleep. I heard bum, 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 bum. So here, Cooley is probably going to re-race. I'm
Ooh,
sorry, I'm so.
To be continued.
Okay, now JJ can't play, and I'm sure she's bummed about that. 'cause
Cooley's all
Queen
in with
nine
ace
is
king.
Such a sexy hand, so I'm pretty sure everyone will fold, and I'll go back to my story about my trauma.
Well, let's just see what JJ does first, so we'll get to your trauma.
I'm pretty sure she's going to
Trauma's going to be put on hold right now, woman.
Yeah.
Queen 9 of diamonds
Yeah.
against the ace king.
It's a great hand, but not an all-in hand.
And
She's just pissed, I'm sure. She's like, I would have liked to see that flop.
yeah, we haven't seen Cooley in a lot of hands.
Yeah, she's gonna fall. It's sometimes you get emotionally attached to a hand though, like Queen 9 of diamonds is
Queen
such
10
a
of
sexy
diamonds is one
hand.
of my favorite looking hands. Yeah. Queen 9, not so much.
She's dealing with the grief.
And this is what she's done every time,
She's
too.
mourning her hand.
She's mourning her hand. She wanted to play, you know, but that's the thing when you have a good hand like ace king. You don't want to see a flop. You don't want to let the other person out flop you. And
No,
when
I
the
mean,
cards
knowing you
come out-
have to crush
Yeah.
the flop, you know, even to continue at that point. So Cooley will take it. Cooley now up to almost 1.3 million chips. Here we go. History of the all-female World Series of Poker event. First L, we know. 77. You won it. 05, Jen. First place, 262K. There you go. The 10K for the men, evil men who are entering, and 644 entries this year. Okay, so bump with the car.
I think probably a lot of people couldn't get out because usually the entries are about 1,000 just because of the conditions. So it's a little bit of a smaller field, but that's still healthy. When I won, it was 601 women.
So what happened with the car now?
Okay, so wait, I just want to watch this hand.
No, I understand. Okay, no,
I'm
it's
so
your
addicted to
show. We're just
poker.
here for you.
Because we've got 3 really good hands here, but they're all sort of playable hands, like ace 8 of spades, jack 9 of clubs. They're all hands you want to play if the price is right. Brooke made the price not
I'm glad
so
to see her
right.
3-bet, but it needs
Yeah.
to be
That's
bigger than
tiny,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'd
you're
be a
out
little
of
bigger.
position against 2 opponents. It should be somewhere about 450.
Yeah.
It may still. I don't think it's getting the job done here. She's pricing
No.
her in.
And I don't know if the other players have noticed what Brooke's tendency is, as we've mentioned a couple times, small ball, the suited connectors. When she does this, it's kind of a sign that she's got a real hand, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty tight fold. It's mostly based on Cooley's stack being so short. She doesn't want to commit more chips, and she probably thinks that Brooke has a really good hand. But I actually think if Brooke wanted to keep the pot small, she could flat the 10s there. 3-betting is way better, but just a healthier size would have better. Got the job done, though.
Well, you get paranoid. I mean, you're sitting here in your first World Series cash. You want it to be a great one, and you're going to maybe reel it back just a little bit. Okay, we're glad you're here, joining us. And you can see upcoming schedules. Of course, tomorrow I will be here with Maria Ho. Stacked field.
That's my favorite.
5 p.m. The 5K 6 Max event, followed by the 10K short deck. I wonder if we're going to see Phil Ivey for that. And
Is
then
this
the,
6 Max
3K
tomorrow?
horse. Yeah.
We're stuck here because of our car problem.
May as well play
Oh,
it.
sorry, they're playing it now. You can't. I don't know
Oh,
if
they're
you can
playing
get
it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I can buy in
Final
late.
table tomorrow.
Yeah, late
you're a little late for that.
registration. Okay.
We'll give you some updates
Six
in a
Max
little
is
bit
my
on
favorite.
those tournaments.
Anyway, all of a sudden, Phil goes, "Oh my God!" And
We're
basically,
back to the story now.
Yes, we drove over. Basically, there's half a car lying in the road, like a bumper in class. And
Is that
everything.
right?
Yeah.
What happened?
So I guess there'd been an accident. And they didn't clear the road, and it just flew at us. We were driving, drive to Las Vegas sort of speed. All in. We've got an all in.
All in on a
We
call?
don't know what she has.
No call.
Ace queen.
Oh, you screen. Okay.
I'm glad you guys are okay. That sounds pretty scary.
Eisenberg would probably be in bad shape, so we limped to the nearest gas station, and we had to wait for 3 hours for AA to show up and tow our car.
Oh, okay. Well, we're glad you are here.
Happy
and that you
ending.
made it. You got to bed late, and you woke up late.
Yep.
But there you go. That's poker. JJ Liu, always one to watch, always entertaining. You just go back and look, images, JJ Liu, and you will see the beautiful outfit that she brings She's here to be noticed. She's what they call a peacock in the poker world. Here I am, and she loves it, and she's happy to talk about it, and she owns it.
I kind of want to get into a prop bet with her where, you know, whoever lasts the longest gets to dress the other.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I would love to see
What would you wear of
with
hers?
for you.
She has to dress me. I don't get to choose.
Oh, you're going that
I'm
way.
sure
Yeah.
it would involve a hat.
And I would have her wear something like super sporty and like if she showed up in like a gray sweatshirt, people would be like, "Who is this?" Right?
A jersey with a number on it, maybe, or something.
Yeah. A football jersey would look so funny.
It would be too funny.
Aw.
So JJ races with Queen Jack. Brooke gonna come
She's
along
in
with a better
bad
Jack.
shake against King Jack. But
Just a call.
just a call. Let's hope a Jack does not flop. For Lou's sake, now it's anybody's game. Who wants to take it? Who wants to bet and take it? Let's see.
Brooke ahead here with the better Jack.
I think if JJ went all in, that would do it. She bets. Brooke will probably fold because they don't have a lot to play with.
220,000.
220 from JJ. Yep, they both missed.
Also, Brooke is short. Lou is short stacked, and so it gives it a certain gravitas when she leads out because people think, oh, is Brooke calling? Well,
Wow,
this
look
is
at this.
interesting. I like this.
220,000.
All right, let's build a pot.
I
Over
didn't
$1
see
million.
the stickiness. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't anticipate.
Oh!
no! Goodbye, JJ.
No.
Yes.
She's still got.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
no.
all in with a Queen Jack. Brooke waiting to call with the King Jack.
I don't know what she's waiting for. She's like, could she
Well,
possibly have
JJ
a
did bet
set
the
or a
flop,
straight?
so now is Brooke thinking maybe Jack's up? She's up against maybe, or
I wouldn't be thrilled if I was Brooke. I think you eventually make this call.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not like thrilled about this when JJ wants to put her whole tournament life on the line.
Yeah.
She makes the call.
and she does.
Well, bold play by
make
JJ.
the call, and
She
JJ
has,
Liu needs help.
she has 3 outs.
There they are, Queen, Queen, Queen.
3 outs.
One card to come. JJ Liu at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Could be our first knockout of this TV final table. The most accomplished player of pretty much any
Mm-hmm.
woman almost in the game, with just the river card to come. JJ Liu needs a queen on the river, or she's out in 5th place. The river card, the 10 of hearts,
That's not
and
easy.
we are down to 4 players. JJ Liu with another strong performance, 5th place, wins over $26,000. Yes, she wanted so much more though.
Good game, JJ.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Look, girls are so nice. I always hate when I see a final table and someone busts out and the
walk
other
away.
people just ignore them. They just walk away like, whoa, whoa,
Great
whoa.
call. Wow. Very nice.
And now they're complimenting each other. Good call.
JJ Liu takes her exit, another strong performance. Had a big stack all the way up till late yesterday, and then she dropped down into the 1.2 million range, while Debora Brooke takes her out. She now more than she started with 4.8 million, right on the heels of Aoki.
That's a super brutal card for JJ, especially because JJ sized it well enough where I thought Brooke would fold.
I did too. Well,
She decides to peel, and then just the worst card in the deck comes off.
Brooke, that was very. She was that was good play, and she was rewarded. I mean, to hang in there. I thought she would fold too. I did not expect that.
I like it though. She's in position. She has the stack for it, and she really puts the pressure on JJ. If a jack
Right.
does not peel on the turn, JJ probably shuts down anyway,
Right.
and Brooke gets to show down the better the king jack. So,
Right.
yeah,
And
it's a nice deal.
even have a plan, like if a king or an ace or something comes out to represent that.
So as JJ heads to the cage, she'll collect World Series of Poker cash number 50
Wow.
of her career. Very
it's
nice.
good to see her back in action.
Yeah, it is. It is. She missed World Series 2 years ago because she was visiting her daughter in Taiwan, and then last year, of course, didn't have the event. But live earnings over 3.4 million, and a Hall of Famer, JJ Liu, first to get knocked out of this TV final table.
And the table is a little less shiny
Oh.
without
It
her
certainly
there.
is.
I think her jacket was acting as a reflective.
She was
thing.
actually tanning the rest of the players
Yes.
at the table.
Well, this is always like interesting. It's like an Agatha Christie novel, and then there were four. Yes.
Well, JJ was dressed like the brother in Better Call Saul with the tinfoil.
It's sort of a psychological thing. Actresses always do that when they think they're going to win the Oscar. They'll a lot of times wear a gold dress, so they look good in the photo when they're holding the Oscar up.
Yeah, well, you don't want to wear gold with the Oscar because that would take away from you need like red or dark black.
You have to you have to hold the Oscar off to one side. I know all the tricks, all the photographer tricks.
Okay.
Oh, God, you can help me. Every time I have a poker photo, I look so mean and angry and weird, and we'll have to go
I'm
over
here
this on
with
break.
JJ Liu, our 5th place finisher in the Ladies No Limit Hold'em Championships. JJ, one of the most infamous female poker players. On that last hand, walk me through what happened. What sort of range did you have Debora on?
I'm sorry. Can you ask me the question?
Just walk me through that last hand, sort of what was going through your mind as you were playing.
I think, I was, I'm kind of show stack, and I try to kind of, I should just move all in at that spot instead of take the flop. So when I bet out and she called, I saw that she has under pair. Maybe she hit the flop on the draw. Then I hit a jar. I think I got the best hand, so I move all in. And I totally didn't expect it. She called me on the flop with the king high, and then hit a jar, and she just had a slightly better kicker. So, that's the way it should be. But, I look back, maybe when I play this hand, I should just move sharp all in at that spot instead of take a flop, because, I look at the way she plays. It's very, very kind of loose aggressive. So, but that's the way to go. There's many tournaments.
Still an impressive finish, and I saw you have a very supportive rail. What did it mean to have your family here today?
Oh, yeah, it's always nice. I got a phone call or text from all over the world because, I'm playing. This is, the final table. 26 years ago, World Series Poker, I was final table. That was 26 years ago. So I'm kind of almost, busy for other things, family and career, so don't have that much time to play.
Well, congratulations on an incredible finish today.
No problem. Thank you.
Good to have JJ Liu back in the spotlight.
I'm sure it was pretty heartbreaking for her, and but there will be many tournaments in the future, as she says.
Well, yeah, she's still fresh, she says. She still studies. She concentrates on keeping her physical being at its best with meditation, with good foods, with exercise and everything. So, yeah, it's going to be, could be a great future.
I think she was a little surprised by that flop call, as
For sure.
we all were.
Yeah, I'll say too that in JJ's spot, most players go broke on day 2. When I was sitting with her and she just decided not to 4-bet jam queens, late position raise, late position 3-bet, and she took a flop and then just check folded. And it's a spot where no one check folds at flop. You'd at least peel one more too. So her cashing in 5th place is like really impressive when most people would be out of the tournament with a min cash on day 2.
Aoki with ace-10 of diamonds as we are down to 4 now. Guaranteed payout of just over $36,000. Right in Brooke's wheelhouse.
I'm surprised at this call, but she's defending her big blind. A lot of times you want to let people know that they can't push you around, and it's a psychological ploy. then when you have a raggedy flop like this, you can represent anything. Unfortunately, Aoki has
the top pair
flop
for
top
Aoki,
pair, yes.
The gut shot for Brooke.
And that'll be it. Brooke will fold.
130,000.
It's just a bargain. I had to call.
I just keep getting this hand. So.
She didn't want to play her gut shot. See, now, Aoki, this is a psychological thing. She's worried the other
It's a
people are going to
bargain
think she's
based price if I
speeding.
have to do it.
So now she's like, look, I'm actually getting hands. Because when she bluffs, she doesn't want them to think that she's, making moves.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, with the tape delay, they have not had a chance to go talk to the rail to see what Aoki's been up to, and she's had it. She's had a little good card distribution
once
so
again,
far, and
she has
four-handed
it.
with ace-7 again.
That's the hand that won me the World Series of Poker.
Is that right?
Suit. Yep.
Raise 125,000.
It's kind of unfortunate because the hand that wins you a tournament is supposed to be your hand, and that's a hand that you don't want to play.
I think it's going to be funny
up.
when Lon wins his first bracelet and it's with jacks.
That'd
You're
be
going to have to
terrible.
change your whole frame
I
of
would,
thinking.
absolutely. You'll see my wardrobe then.
You're going to have those same earrings JJ had?
It'll be like Jim Carrey with jacks all over. It's like the Riddler.
You should have
costume.
JJ dress you for a tournament, too.
Oh, there you
That'd
go.
be amazing.
Glad you are with us, Lon McCarron with Jamie Kerstetter, Jennifer Tilley for this 2021 World Series of Poker Ladies 1K Championship.
You lost a sizable part of the rail, went home with JJ.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that because there's not many people out there. Jack 7 is very playable, four-handed, but, sometimes she's a small stack. She's not going to want to, be playing these gambly hands. But
Ace always 10. No.
No ace-10. So Cooley will take
That'll be
that.
small blind.
Diane Cooley from Alpharetta, Georgia. 4 cashes on her World Series
Alpharetta,
resume.
that's where my stepmom lives.
Is that right?
Alpharetta, Georgia. Beautiful little town.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, your paraphernalia.
1 World Series cash prior to this. 3 circuit events that she has cashed in.
10, so many 10s in a row.
Seems to be a final table savant, is Cooley.
Oh, why did you say that? She's has.
I was telling you, she has 11 Hendon Mob results and 8
Oh, wow.
final tables, now 9 for 12.
Well, the final table technique is a lot different from the start of a tournament or the middle of a tournament because it's requires a lot more finesse and there's a lot more shoving and a lot less playing like suited connectors and things like that because it's so volatile in terms of the blinds and antes.
Here's the big stack with a big hand again.
I think she's just a card deck today.
Mm-hmm.
55,000.
Obviously, she got to the final table through her play, but sometimes you get really lucky at the final table. And
Blind on blind, too. You can never trust a blind on blind situation, but Cooley has to just think.
she's got to fold at this point.
Nothing.
I always hate when you're the small stack on
Oh
the.
my
and she's-
God.
Yeah.
Now she's showing.
Nice king.
She's shown
Oh,
twice.
nice.
Thank you for showing me.
Yeah.
See, this is what the ladies' events are. I'm going to show you my hand. Thank you for showing.
It
Everybody's
is
so
really
nice. and-
funny, though,
At
'cause
some point, you want to show. I mean,
well, when you're
on.
doing that, though, they shouldn't say thank you because it's like, this is so I could bluff
Yeah.
you later.
Yeah,
and they're like,
exactly.
oh, thank you.
You know why? Because women are all empaths, and you
Yeah.
know you get in that situation, and everybody doesn't want anyone to feel bad. So it's not like when you're playing with guys when they just want to destroy you. They'll bluff you out of like a huge pot and then show you the 2.
Jennifer, are you cold? Would you like a jacket?
I have a jacket
You
here.
have a
Thank
jacket?
you.
Okay,
What a
just look.
gentleman you
Okay.
are. Such a gentleman. Isn't he a gentleman, Jamie?
Lon, I'm actually cold. Thank you. Just kidding.
You didn't look cold.
I'm kidding.
So four-handed, a lot of times nobody gets a hand, and so a lot of times whoever kind of tries to jump in there is going to take down the blinds and antes, which are considerable. So Cooley she understands that. She's going to try to get in there. She's also the small blind. And, oh, this is not good.
And this is not good. This
She
is a
might-
very similar
I knew
situation
she's
that we
gonna
just
go
saw.
in and she's going to get
Huge
called.
shove.
Oh, Brooke again
Sudden-
with the better.
Sudden depth, and Brooke again thinking about it. Like, could she possibly have 2-3?
Yeah,
She'll
she
call,
just knocked
obviously.
out JJ Liu in the same situation
She
with a
just
better
wants
jack.
to double check.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh!
Wow, that was a
She's
wild
thinking
hand.
for a bigger pair?
So you have 9-8 offsuit. You want to get value out of this hand, small blind versus big blind. You're going to want to make a smaller bet. But she actually accidentally bluffed with the hand and got a better 8 to fold, which is awesome for her. I was not expecting that.
I felt like she. Wow, that's
That
unexpected.
one got by. That one got through, yeah.
But you know, it's hard to argue with all in sometimes. I mean, that's a sizable part of the other girl's stack, and maybe she just didn't want to risk it.
Well, obviously.
But
Not
that
wanna
was,
risk
it was,
it,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm saying it was a surprising play, but obviously we can see the whole cards,
Yeah.
and you never know what the other person could
I
have.
always put her on an overpair, yeah. I mean, you know. But yeah, as the short stack, did a good job there.
Yep. Wow, that was so interesting.
It was.
I love you guys. I love live streams. I love watching them. I love being in the booth, putting in my 2 cents.
How much is your world? I know we're going to talk about the new series on Sci-Fi and USA in a second, but how much poker have you been playing in the last?
I
X
was
number
up
of
in
years?
Canada for 5 months, so we could play online. So I was playing on my online accounts. I love playing online poker.
On set?
Yeah, not on set when I would go home,
Okay.
because on Saturdays and Sundays I'd be playing tournaments. Eisenberg here, she has top set. She's checking. She's wait, hold on. I'm confused at the action because I was somebody. Yeah, she checked.
There we
She's
go.
doing a check raise.
Yep.
She checked. Aoki took a stab at it. She raised. That's a clever way of getting more money in the pot when you're the short stack. She'd probably commit for all her chips there at that point. Yeah, and then when I got back, I played Poker After Dark, which I love.
Oh, I did
Poker
see it
After
there.
Dark.
Yeah, some nice photos in front of the
aired
studio.
yet. It was so much fun. But you know, it was in a studio. But
Do you still have the game? I mean, do you feel like you're comfortable with? I mean, poker
I feel like
strategy has
actually,
changed so much.
It has, but I feel like I actually got better because there's the way the kids play. I'm telling you, it's so frustrating.
So online training will be okay for your live game right now.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
basically.
Yeah. Also, too, when you play when you're playing sort of high stakes poker, they play a lot more gambling. Like,
Yeah.
maybe not as GTO as you would expect, and it's
Got to be a TV show. You know?
It's
They want-
a TV show. I had so much fun. I was playing with Mia Ho and Elia Lesren. Nate Silver came in second in a tournament here
The
at the World Series of
10K
Poker.
limit, yep. I think that's good for your game, for you to be playing on the TV ones where people are loosening up. There's like a little bit of pressure for people to bluff a little more and be more fun.
Absolutely.
And I feel like you are like fun at the table. You don't want to be a robot, so it's like nice
Right.
that other people are playing the same game as you.
Because I'm so giddy and happy when I'm
Yeah,
playing
you're
poker. Win or lose, I just love playing poker.
Yep.
So,
great.
Aoki is going to see a flop. I think perhaps might have been better for Eisenberg to, unless she's trying to trap Aoki here, because Aoki is raising.
All in.
All in.
All in.
Very
Nice
clever
hand.
play. Very
Yep.
clever.
There
Very
we go.
good. I was about to say, you kind of, even when you're ace-10 suited, you kind of don't want to take a flop against 9-6 suited against the big stack. So that was well done. Well done.
And that's Aoki's hand, ace 10,
Yeah.
that she's been getting
Oh,
so
there you
often.
go.
So played back at you. Jamie, you've been playing online.
Yep.
Yep.
It's primarily, what I do.
I love online because they don't know who you are. They don't have any preconceived conception of you. And so it's actually a pure sense of poker. Like when I play on TV or when I play in home games,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
kind of hampered by being Bride of Chucky. Because you're like, what do they think that I think? What do they think that I'm doing? So you have to kind of take that in consideration as well.
Yeah, and I think that for women who are, it is intimidating when you are first starting to play. Not just women, but beginners in general. Getting in online is a nice way to learn the game and get some hands under your belt before you go and have to play in a casino.
Absolutely.
I think I forget what the percentages are, but it's way higher, the percentage of female players online than live.
I think so. It's not as intimidating. Ace-10 suited again. Looks like a raise and take it.
It's
There you
like
go.
Brooke tried
There
to
it is.
limp in the 7-5 off. I think this is going to start costing her as the blinds go up.
Yeah.
So we heard about Jen and her car, and you're in pain today too, Jamie.
What happened,
Getting old
Jamie?
is terrible, I'm
Said
telling
he's
you.
10 suited.
I used to never get hurt. I was playing soccer and a guy just like ran straight through me. I'm in a men's league.
Oh
He
my
just straight
God.
through me, and I
Let's
thought I was
skip
okay at the
over
time, and I
me.
woke up this morning and my hip just like doesn't
Jeez.
work. It's like, oh, cool.
I like to compete with men on the felt, but not on the sports field. I had my nose broken by somebody
No
who was trying to
way.
take me out in a baseball game because he thought I was going to do a double play. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what a
He, like,
double
slid
play
into
is.
you?
Yeah, I got him out, and I was like, why is he running at me?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Were you at second base, I guess? You're going to make the relay to first?
I
Is
think
that what he thought?
I think I was on first base, or maybe I was
Oh.
on second base. He thought I was going to do a double play.
Yeah.
So I got him out, and I guess he was really mad. He was a stunt man, and he just kept running at me.
What kind of league was this?
Broke my. It was a celebrity game. That's the annoying thing. Broke my perfect nose,
Oh.
but I had it fixed. So all's well that ends
Yeah, I was
well.
gonna say it looks like you recovered nicely.
Yeah, yeah.
Heads up, lady.
So Brooke's got the old Doyle Brunson hand.
Yep, you see
Tensu
how that worked out
offsuit.
for her.
I think Brooke is. It's like I say, she wants to defend her big blind. She doesn't want people to push her around. And Cooley is a small blind. It's a small blind, big blind
110,000.
confrontation.
This will be the last hand of this level. Players are going to take a break. We're going to take a break as well. And
They'll
we'll
all come back
reconnoiter.
playing differently.
They
though.
will. They'll talk to their rails,
See what's
figure out
been
who's
going
got
on.
what. And
Yep.
if you get ace-10, make sure you go all in, I guess is the key right here.
Right.
But along Jennifer Tilley and Jamie Kerstetter, I'm Lon McCarran. We are now down to 5. JJ Liu, the only victim so far of our 5-handed TV final table, goes out with over $26,000. Up top, champion with a gold bracelet and almost $116,000. One of these final 4 will win their very first World Series of Poker bracelet. So, the 4th day of this event, the ladies 1K championship of the World Series of Poker, 644 down to just 4. Jen, Jamie, and I will be back in just a bit to bring you the rest of the action. Joined by 2 of my favorites, Oscar-nominated for '94 film, Bullets Over Broadway, Tiffany Valentine in the Chucky movies, voice of Bonnie Swanson on Family Guy, ladies champion at the World Series of Poker in '05, Canadian and U.S. citizenship by birth, so we know she's got a good heart. Always glad to have her nearby. Jennifer Tilley, thank you.
Hi, Lon. I'm really happy to be here. The ladies' event is near and dear to my heart, and it's so exciting to be here calling this final table.
We'll get to Jamie in just a second, as we do have a hand developing right off the bat. Eisenberg raising with 8s. JJ Liu, who had been one of the big stacks forever in this tournament with pocket aces, 3 bets to 300,000.
I think here's a situation where JJ's aggressive image is going to work for her because these girls have been playing together for quite a while, and I think Eisenberg thinks she's maybe being pushed around a little bit.
Next to Liu, Eisenberg, the most experienced and you look at results, the most prolific, I guess, casher of the group, but she's way behind JJ Liu, who's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I've played with Liu a lot of times. She's a formidable person at the poker table. She's somebody that Eisenberg might re-race her. She could re-race her all in.
She does give
she
it up,
folds.
though.
Wow.
Good fold.
Good
and
fold. Good
saved
lay
herself
down.
a lot of chips. And so to complete my intro, Jamie Kerstetter, born in New Jersey, self-disbarred attorney, little known fact, washed-up soccer player, bust out on day 2, little known fact. Glad you're here.
Thanks a lot, Lon. Always happy to see you, Lon.
Jamie will be joining Norman, Chad, and I in the booth for this year's main event coverage, which you can watch on PokerGO.
Raise 130,000.
So, how is this going to play out? I mean, nervous early on. We all talked to them ahead of time, and they didn't seem that nervous. But is it going to start out a little slow? We had a chance to have a big hand early on.
I think Aoki has a really big advantage having gotten second in this event before, just knowing what it's like to be in this pressure situation where we look at the bios of most of the other women besides JJ, and most don't have very high amounts in earnings, and they probably haven't been at a feature table with all the lights and cameras and everything. So I kind of think I would be pretty nervous at the start if I've never been in this spot before.
What do you think of this 3-bet sizing, though? That's monstrous.
She put her
Put her
all
all
in.
in.
Yeah, I think she's
Yeah.
trying to apply the pressure. When you're the
Yeah,
big stack,
okay.
you really just want to put fear, instill fear in the smaller stacks. Obviously, JJ's not going to call unless she's you know, it'd be sort of a loose call. I think she's Hollywooding a little
I
bit.
did not see her drinking before the
Yeah.
show started, so I think she's probably going to fold.
Yeah, she's Hollywooding. She doesn't want the other girls to think she's, you know, speeding, especially since she had the pocket aces in the hand before. She doesn't need to go to battle now.
Also, if you're wearing an outfit that cool, you want some camera time. Choosing just this, she had about a 6.5 big blind raise instead, gives her a chance to do this more often with worse cards.
And I got to say, just seeing that camera shot right there, this is my first show of the year. It's so thrilling to be back to work.
It's really nice.
How do you guys feel about this whole WSOP?
Me too. You know, I'm just like I was saying to Jamie earlier, I'm just like so itching to get back to the felt, but obviously I'm a little nervous about the whole, all the tables close together, but it's just really fun to be back here watching these ladies play.
I mean, there are a few scofflaws out there who are not putting the mask on or whatever, but I've found security have been talking to people. I've heard that poker players are talking to poker players, trying to, you know, keep everybody in line and make it safe for us all. So we can, I mean, they could shut this thing down tomorrow.
Yeah.
If they
What
wanted to,
I
you
love
know?
about this time of the year, even if I'm not here, is the poker Twitter. And Jamie's the queen of poker Twitters. You know all about that.
She does enough for both.
But I love how people get really upset about things.
Oh yeah, we're like the grumpiest group of people in the world, poker players. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So
With the easiest jobs in the world.
Yep.
here there's ace, ace, 5. Usually it's pretty good odds nobody has an ace. I think if Aoki bets, she could take it unless Eisenberg decides to get a little tricky because she's short stacked. She doesn't want to, so she's going to take a stab at it, and I think Aoki is probably going to call.
Eisenberg with
Oh,
the bet,
no.
and Aoki does fold the
Wow.
pocket pair.
To the aggressor goes the spoils.
Well, you see the overcard come out there with the 2 aces, and you think
It was-
maybe happy to have her out here. She looks very confident when I talked to her earlier. She's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring, the only hardware won by anybody at this table.
She's got one of the best coaches in the biz too. She's coached by Ape Styles, John Van Fleet. She was one of his first students, and she actually is a member of BBZ coaching now.
Okay, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she has some tricks up her sleeve. She works in Sims and does a lot of ICM work, which is very rare for a ladies event.
Raising a call.
So-
Liu and Aoki. Aoki's been very blessed with cards so far, very active. And when you find a chip leader very active early on, you're not quite sure
Yeah,
really
sometimes
what's
you
going on.
suspect they're up to something. What we have here is 2 substandard aces. Oh, now this could be trouble for
Ace is up for Aoki.
could be trouble for Liu unless a heart comes out, because when you're 5-handed, you're suspecting the odds that somebody else is playing with an ace in their hand is a little bit lower.
Brooke with a draw as well, so everybody's kind of happy with that.
Especially if the person with the other ace has been pretty aggressive all along.
Yeah, and with the delay, they don't know that Aoki's been just getting good cards for the most part.
But do you think that they've been playing for the last couple days? When I played in the main event, the last 3, I knew how everybody played after a while, because it gets down to 3 and then it gets down to 2 before you make the final table. So
It's tough though, because you don't see cards a lot of the time. Like when you're playing a table
right.
that's not streamed, you
That's
only
true.
see the showdown. So sometimes you're like, I think this person's up to something, but you don't actually get to see.
that's true. But you have an idea of how the other person plays. So, you know, you're like, that person is up. I almost busted the ladies event the second to last day, because there's a girl that was so aggressive, and I always thought she was full of it. And I bet, she raised, I re-raised, all in, she called. I was like, oh, I had pocket 7, she had pocket queens, and then I had a 7.
Ooh,
And busted, like, the best player at the table. I'm like, oh, sorry.
were you sorry?
Oh, no, I was sorry, not sorry, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's poker. So Aoki is raising here. Now, Liu is put to a decision for the rest of her stack, essentially. Oh, I'm Aoki. I've been mispronouncing your name.
She will accept Aoki, but she prefers Aoki.
Yeah, I'm doing phonetics.
That's fine.
I think Liu is, now she has a very difficult decision. She is probably going to fold. She might put her on a flush draw. You know, obviously she could have a better ace.
I feel like the sizing wise, it would make me want to fold if I'm Liu. I think if Aoki has some kind of combo draw, she'd make it much bigger and put way more
Yes.
pressure on her whole stack.
If she calls here, it's for her whole stack. She's not
Pretty
going to
much.
call. She'll either go all in or fold. I think she might fold.
I
If she
agree.
had a better kicker, she'd be in trouble. but that's kind of not the way you want to go
The
out.
old mantra is like, you play a weak ace, what do you want to hit?
2 pair.
Yeah, exactly.
But five-handed ace-3 is not. It's a pretty good hand. I mean, she could.
Right. No, you're right about the
see,
short-handed. Yeah.
She could think that she has a flush draw or a jack or, you know, a straight draw. She could think she has, like, you know, pocket queen, something like that. You're always suspecting the big stack is up to something, especially when they're as aggressive as Aoki.
And
she
JJ
folds.
Liu does find a fold.
She does manage to dodge those tricky moments. That's why she's a champion. She has so many final tables, and I think she's been around for a very long time.
Norman, what would we say, like 100,000 or so? 100 and something thousand?
I would love to see both of them at the final table.
Then they'd be
So entertaining.
insufferable. Maury's already, he wears his little Hall of Fame necklace around, you know, so you can't talk to the man.
Here's another big hand. Brooke has
Brooke
ace
with ace
king.
king, yeah.
Raise.
So the action was pretty quick getting down to the final 5 yesterday. And this is
This might
Interesting
be
to see how it
trouble
goes.
for Liu again. She's
Yeah.
short stacked. Brooke is the big stack. She might possibly push.
under 800,000 for JJ Liu, Hall of Famer. Recently bought a hotel outside Bristol, Tennessee, because she heard that Bristol, Virginia, where her hotel is going to approve gaming out there, and the Hard Rock is going to build a casino. And she thought, I'm going to buy a hotel and make money. And
Good for
so
her.
a great businesswoman to do that. She said it's been a lot of fun.
Well, it could be trouble if an ace comes out, because somebody as active as Brooke, you're not going to put him on an ace. I'm always saying this. I'm always wrong. It's never trouble because JJ seems to have
It's
a
going to be
sixth sense,
3,
like
4,
I
7
said.
probably. Oh, King Jack 10.
Okay, this I think is going to be a bet and take it by
Yeah.
Brooke, possibly. Unless
Well,
JJ decides to get a little tricky. See?
now Brooke with top pair, top kicker.
Good for Brooke. You
Both
can't
with
see
the wheel
it.
draw.
That's sort of a question, and there's the answer, and Liu's going
And
to fold.
JJ gets a lot of info with that call, right?
Yeah, of course. And, you know, she's just thinking like,
Of
well,
raise, I
you know,
mean.
maybe, you know, the person could have suited connectors, pocket eights, whatever. She's like,
Well,
let's
JJ's
just
seen
see.
it all. She knows this could happen. I got another ace, and I hit an ace, and now I'm behind. I mean,
Yeah.
she knows that. She's not going to panic in this situation.
And her bet sizing was sort of questioning. She's like, you know, I admire her that she's the shortest stack at the table now, but she's not afraid to mix it up. So
There
by
you go.
just calling, she's sort of like implying that she has a big hand that she wants to play, and now she's implying that she did not have such a big hand after all.
There was a guy that did play. He said he's donating all his winnings, or if he won anything, to a women's
I
charity.
would like to talk about
was
that,
this
though.
year. Yeah.
That reason is so ridiculous to
I
me
agree.
because just donate the money then.
I think what happens.
Donate the 10K
Without
before you get
playing.
here.
Yeah.
I think they don't realize how strong the censure is when they sit down at the table. When I played the ladies' tournaments, there were little pockets of deep unhappiness, and they were the tables where the men were sitting, and you could see the men starting to look more and more sheepish and uncomfortable as the day wore on. I think they thought maybe it would be a fun lark, and then they started to feel kind of ashamed of
There
themselves.
are things that are really bad about it. Like, I think if they think it's going to be funny and they don't mind donating the 10K, the prize pool, and whatever, then you knock out someone, and that's their tournament. They play one big tournament a year,
Yeah.
and you
It
knock
does
out
affect
some
the whole
lady, and you're
field.
like,
It affects the whole field.
And if you probably do feel bad, I don't want to like knock out some grandma in a tournament I'm not supposed to be in.
And I don't
Yeah.
know what the point is they're trying to get across.
Well, a lot of the girls, they save up all year to come to the World Series of Poker, and you know the $1,000 is a lot of money, and to get knocked out by a guy, it's just like, oh, this is awful. I came to play with other women, and you know, some guy
Yeah.
in a dress knocked me out.
There was someone online who has responded to a post I made, and he said, well, where's the men's tournament then? And it gave me that vibe of like, you know, when you're a kid and it's Mother's
Yes.
Day and you're like, when's Kids Day? And,
Yeah.
and your mom's like, Kids Day is every day.
Other
Every
day,
day
yeah,
is
right.
Kids' Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, here we have Eisenberg, top pair. No,
Middle
second
pair.
middle pair. But that board is kind of scary because somebody could easily have a straight or be drawing to a straight.
Exactly what Brooke loves to do with her cards.
And now this is even more like a straight. I think it might just be check to the end. Oh, look. Just going to take a stab at it.
Bet 60,000.
I like this by Brooke. She's just, it's a little
Yeah.
small. She's letting Eisenberg get in there, but I do like the idea of betting here. I just think I would make it a little bigger and make Eisenberg really put to the test with her 900K stack.
This is the thing the kids do online now. They bet they play like actors at a charity tournament. So now if somebody had a jack straight, well, if they had a jack, they had a straight already. I think we're looking at
Look, I don't know if JJ's
Check,
thinking.
check.
I didn't see what JJ folded,
check.
but she's looking like she made this hand at some point.
you might that's always bad.
And
you
the
know, when
9
you're-
will carry it for Eisenberg.
Huge come up for Eisenberg now. She's way ahead of the bottom 2 stacks, and she has a playable stack for the first time in a little while.
And Jennifer Tilley, there we are. Lon McHarron, Jamie Kersetter, Jennifer Tilley. After our break at the 1K WSOP Ladies Championship, we are down to our final 4 players as we take a look at this Cuervo leaderboard brought to you by Cuervo. There are no strangers. First place worth almost 116K. The next player to go out will win over 36,000. Pretty sizable jumps in between there. And our first one to go out, denying her after such a great career, JJ Liu, the 5th place finisher. But one of our final 4 will win that bracelet. It will be their very first bracelet. So glad you're back with us. About the middle of the month in the World Series of Poker. This is early on, 88 total events. And we're still in the 20s, so a long way to go. Plenty of events for you at home to come join. Weekend events, online events.
Raise. 175.
Cooley, the short stack with just over $1 million, 10-9 suited on the button and a raise to 175. The blinds at 40 and 80,000 with an 80K big blind ante.
I like this play because she is on the button, and it's a very playable hand. And, you know, you got to mix it up a little bit and not just always shove when you're the short stack. Looks like Eisenberg is thinking of making a play here. Nobody likes to have their big blind targeted, especially at a short table. It's a psychological game as much as anything
And a
else.
suited jack, you know.
Oh, she folds. So Cooley takes it down with some creative play.
Well, she's got a reputation, or she's, you know, they know that they might get shoved on, or whatever. Who knows? But anyway, so it'll be Diane Cooley. 11 live results on the Henna Mob, 8 final tables. And so you take a look at her bio board, brought to you by GPI THM, the live poker collective, works in banking. And she knows how to get deep, no matter what kind of tournament it is, but not a lot of money won at the World Series of Poker.
Everybody likes to have those World Series poker caches on their Henna Mob. It looks so sweet.
Yeah, I got the little logo and all like
Right.
that, and I guess.
I used to travel around the world on the tournament circuit, and everybody's collecting flags. They're like, I don't have a Danish flag yet. And those, the caches
There
that
you
you
go.
have in the tournaments around the world.
What's your favorite flag other than USA,
I
of course,
love,
and
well,
Canadian?
English. I love England. And the World Series of Poker Europe was in England for quite a long time.
So it was your boyfriend.
And I like the gay
Born in-
pride flag.
Born in England, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Phil Locke born there?
No, he's born in Ireland. So
Ireland, that's right. Same
Cooley
thing.
tries it again, and she's not going to get it through here. She's raising with King 9, and she runs into Ace King.
Okay, so Cooley with the raise, as you mentioned. Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Eisenberg in the small blinds, yeah, going to want to 3-bet. Playing out of position's not that palatable for anyone.
Chip
Oh,
leader with Ace
wow.
Queen again.
Oh, big hand versus big hand. Aoki
The
is,
one thing we know, Cooley will not be in this hand long.
True.
Yeah, she's. That's lucky for Cooley. Yeah, there you go.
Jams all in.
And I quick call
wow,
him sure.
with Ace Queen
This
off.
could be a game changer.
Absolutely. So Cooley being squeezed, and she
Yeah.
has to feel lucky. She will feel lucky later on. That
She's doing a little Hollywood for later. She's
Mm-hmm.
never going to call. She doesn't want people to think she's been raising light in position.
and when Jen Tilley says they're Hollywooding, she knows what she's talking about.
I know about Hollywooding. People sometimes think like when you're on camera, like, oh, they're just getting some camera time, but it's it's kind of an important part of poker.
Yeah, but wow, she's reaching?
No, she's
Counting?
No, she's Hollywooding. She's
She's
really
Hollywooding?
Yes.
Well, now I'm angry. I want her to fold right away.
She might actually be thinking 3 for 1, but she can't think her hand is good at this point.
No. Eisenberg waiting with ace-king.
It's also, too, someone once told me, you don't want to fold too quick. You want people to get that sick, anxious feeling when they're in a hand with you.
But it's the ladies' event, Jen. Everybody loves each other, you said.
I would be very surprised if she calls.
Now it's gone.
She folds.
And now Eisenberg.
That very good Hollywooding on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Cooley,
This,
I give you 10 out of 10.
This is like not quite as simple as it seems. You look at ace king, you think, okay, you slam your chips in, no problem. With ICM, with there being a 10K pay jump, with Cooley being so short, this is a sick feeling if you're Eisenberg. You don't love this. And you think when Aoki 4-bet jams, her range is very, very strong. So while I do think ace king is a call, it's not an exciting call like it would be earlier in a tournament.
Eisenberg, the one who would be at risk, being tested for all of her chips right here. She's run deep in a lot of events. She's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring.
I have folded an ace-king before, but I think when you're looking at four-handed in the chap, that fact that Aoki's one of the chip leaders, it's a call, you know, but it's an icky feeling, like you say, Jamie.
And if she does call, she will be thrilled to see.
Yeah. But, you know, even if you're up against, like, pocket aces or something, the pocket pair would have a slight edge over you. So.
Sure.
Yeah, she also has to think about how long Cooley took to fold and thinking, are some of my outs dead? When Cooley's taking forever, it's like an ace or a king may have hit the muck there, and she's not feeling great about that.
And it's true, the king did hit the muck.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in the tournament, survival is very, very important.
Wow,
She
it was
makes the
finally
right
like,
call.
oh, I got to call.
Yeah.
I have to
Right.
call. And Eisenberg at risk, but with a better hand against the ace-queen of the chip leader.
Ace queen versus ace king.
Perhaps the former chip leader. Eisenberg in line to become the new chip leader if her ace-king holds up. Aoki will be cut down to third place. Aoki trying to do everything she could to take this pot before it got to this moment. But Eisenberg with the ace-king just could not find a fold, and rightly so. And here is the flop. And there is a king.
There you
And
go.
that all but ends it. Eisenberg in great shape to double through the chip leader.
Just got to fade those backdoor hearts and running queens.
Turn card. Deuce of diamonds, and
There
so
you
that is going to do it. The double up complete. The river card meaningless. Aoki giving up a bunch of chips to the new chip leader, Lara Eisenberg.
You didn't tell me and spoil the sweat.
Yeah, she's saying, I'm glad you didn't tell me and spoil the sweat up. Supposedly, it's very bad form to say I folded a king, you know, out loud when they see
Right.
the hands.
It's just an etiquette thing. It just
Yeah.
feels worse when then someone hits their card
Yeah.
and you know.
Also, too, you're killing their hope for the.
Yes.
I think those two.
Yeah, I've had that happen a bunch where you're walking out and someone goes, oh yeah, actually you got one outed, not two outed. I'm like, didn't need to know that.
Did not need to know that. Eisenberg now, who had a moment, I think, where, what if I do fold here? I still have a lot of chips. But
Right.
then you can just see her nod her head going, I can't fold this.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
even
you
all.
got it. Just got to go. with it.
ICM makes things very tricky, and I know she studies ICM under Ape Styles and BBZ, and it's when you do a lot of ICM work, you know that the spots aren't quite as slam dunk as they feel.
Right.
2.1 million.
You
And
don't
it's-
ever want to give a bystander a bunch of extra money. Like they're
Right.
sitting there with a shorter
hand, nice
stack,
hand.
and you
Nice, thank
call,
you.
and you're giving yourself a chance to bust. That feels bad.
Right.
It'll look dumb on the thing, and I'm thinking about folding, but I'm like, can I fold? Again.
Yeah, like I'm not a big fan of ace king, but it's like when you're at that, you can't.
Yeah, well, I'm.
The thing is, you've come so far. You've been playing for 3-4 days. You just don't really all of a sudden want to go out, you know, losing a flip. It's
But you have to play correctly, too.
absolutely, but that is the hesitation, the coming to terms with the fact that you might be walking out.
Totally
like,
worth
1
that
minute
hesitation.
later.
Yeah, she had to hesitate like that. I mean, she could be up against queens.
Or a
you know,
set, or
anything.
Not a set pre-flop, but
Right, well, yeah.
that would
right.
be that would be strange.
Yeah, somebody check this deck.
Right. Yeah.
That would be those Texas games.
But these final tables, I mean, the chip leader can change. Everything can change so fast.
So it is Eisenberg by an eyelash over Brooke right now. Aoki in third place. Cooley still over $1 million. But the short stack of this four-handed table for a World Series bracelet, and Eisenberg with another ace
Raise.
on the button and a raise.
160,000.
She just can't get away from big hands.
Yeah.
What is it?
160,000.
So yeah, I'm liking this call a lot more than the 3-bet. When there are two big chip stacks like this, you kind of benefit from playing slightly passively against each other when there's a short stack just hanging around. You don't want to have a big clash. You don't want to 3-bet and then the pot is inflated. All of a sudden it comes out ace, king, whatever, and you start putting chips in. You want to make sure that you outlast this fourth place person. So keeping the pot small, especially out of position, is much better.
There you go. There's the queen for Aoki.
There's a queen I needed.
8 for Eisenberg too. So this pot should swell a little bit.
Check.
So the pot's going to get a little bigger here with both players connecting.
That should be
80. Yep.
80,000.
In the box right now, Mario Romero, originally from Venezuela, now dealing and living in Las Vegas.
And it's interesting that Aoki said, there's my queen from the last hand. Like a lot of times you'll see people at final tables and they don't want to engage. And, you know, she felt comfortable.
Especially mentioning the hand that you have. You know, why would you call that out? It's a nice reverse tell.
no.
Oh, and another 8 on the turn for Eisenberg.
No, that's bad. And then Aoki's got to be thinking, well, there's 2 8s out there. How can she have an 8? Sadly.
Wow, just when it was all going Aoki's way,
Yeah.
Eisenberg now has turned the tables after the break, taken the chip lead, and now has turned trip 8s against top pair.
160,000.
160. A tiny bet on the paired board.
And she might feel a little bit of anxiety there, like, well, she's putting out a question, you know, like, let's see what you do with this, and, you know, perhaps she'll get her answer here.
Yeah, it's a bit odd to just call on the flop and then lead out on this turn, which the turn's very bad for you. And 8's not good. I mean, you're not beating that much anymore with your king, queen.
She got raised. So 500,000, 400,000. Purple chips worth 100,000 each.
And she might be able to get away from this.
And interesting that she would go ahead and raise after hitting the 8s.
Especially that she's second to act.
It's
Well,
she
she
wants
knows her
to get
customer. Yeah,
she wants to make a bigger pot. There are 2 clubs out there. This is a somewhat draw heavy flop.
And a straight
you're also
draw.
beating every other 8. So if you can inflate this pot, it's good for you.
Now, Aoki got called, got raised, everything's.
She does slow down and checks over to Eisenberg, who
It's got to put chips in. And
what do you think?
Probably
Like
going to
700?
check call, I'm guessing, unless she
pot?
makes it too expensive.
That's 800, yeah.
Bet.
Oh, that's like a third of her stack.
800,000.
Oh, she's thinking, does she? Doesn't she?
Can she get away from it?
It's going to be pretty hard to get away from that queen. I mean, I'd be so impressed if she got away from that, but I think it's going to be pretty hard for her.
Check's not a particularly good card for Aoki's particular hand. You're worrying about 9-10, which would have been a double gutter on the flop, so that got home. Queen Jack could play their hand like this, and they got there now as well.
Another
it's hard to
big
find
pot.
bluffs, really, that Eisenberg can have.
Oh, wow, between these 2 players.
She's probably a little bit reeling from not being the chip leader anymore also, which kind of sometimes makes your inner mechanism a little bit wonky, you know, like a little like rattled.
Yeah.
The 2 most accomplished players of these 4. Aoki, the chip leader at the end of day 2, second in this event in 2014, went on to finish top 100 in the main event in 2014. And of course, we mentioned Eisenberg.
A big clue is how much Eisenberg bet on the river. Like if Eisenberg has the queen, wouldn't she just check behind, you know? And so I think that's what Aoki might be thinking. Like, why is she betting on the river? Betting
I mean,
so much?
she bet when she hit the second 8, and now she's bet the river.
Yeah, so she might, you know, she might be able to get away from this. myself, I'm an ATM. I'm like,
I'm a bit
not gonna bluff
stationy
me.
myself. What can I say? There are missed clubs. There's the 7-9.
Wow.
There's some stuff, but
A
Fold in progress.
good lay down
Nice
by Aoki.
lay down from Aoki, and
Very nice.
Eisenberg takes another nice pot and more chips from Aoki.
Very nice lay down.
Lara Eisenberg now over 5 million, which was formerly only Aoki territory, and she is down to 2.5 million.
Small underground.
I like to hear the conversation at the table, but when they have the masks on, it's like,
tough.
hard.
Yep.
because you can't read their lips either.
And some of the tweets coming in.
Is that Aoki's poker coach that she went to talk to? Jamie, do you know?
I'm not sure. I think her
Or just
brother
her
was
friends?
actually in the stands.
Okay.
I think it said his name is Nobu Aoki.
Thanks for having it on. Chris, latest event free on PokerGO tonight. And if you're a woman out there wanting to get into poker, a lot of avenues. Check with friends, check online, check Twitter accounts of
Huge. We have a
women in
huge
poker.
community now.
Yeah.
I particularly enjoy the WPA and Poker Power. There's just really good people involved who really are invested in growing the game for women. And I feel like that helps a lot. You come into a poker room and you know some people, even if you're just in the Facebook group with them.
The females in this business are so supportive of each other. It's just really kind of wonderful.
And leading the pack, of course, forever have been, Jen Fisher and Linda Johnson.
They're great.
And just for the poker cruises and Hall of Famers, and it just, all the credit in the world has to go to them. Two queens going to see the flop. There is
Cooley out
Tuesday
flops
7.
Brooke.
Yep, with a pair of 7s for Cooley.
And Brooke, in the big blind, you're not going to put her on an ace unless she's super crafty and lucky. So this looks like probably a bet and take it.
That's a really good point, too. The way that the action was as well, and with Cooley being so short, you would expect an ace to get jammed. You'd expect Brooke, after Cooley limps, to jam any ace. So really, you can ignore the ace on this flop because neither player should really have one.
Right. Once in a while they do, though.
Sometimes
Yeah.
someone's trapping. Small blind can definitely be trapping there, but rarely.
All right, Cooley will take that up to almost 1.1 million. And how about this? Poker After Dark. Jen was talking about it. It is back with a new season featuring today's biggest poker stars and celebrity like Gentili. Watch Poker After Dark season. Oh, they used the number 13. Season
Ooh.
13.
Lucky 13. Lucky 13.
Lucky 13
Yeah.
exclusively on PokerGO. And talk about the women wanting resources. You can watch a lot of poker on PokerGO. Old ones, new ones, live ones, and just kind of test yourself as you get out there. Good resource as well. So I ran into Norman Chad
All in.
on the break.
Player says all
I'm
in.
sorry.
an all
We'll get
in.
that in a second. Cooley with the ace and all in for 1.1
This
million.
is a pretty standard play, especially being on the button. She might get called by the ace-6, especially because Eisenberg is a big stack, and it kind of looks like a short stack button play.
They'll get an official count. We're guessing it's around 1.1 million. Jamie's been writing the numbers down as we go. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that.
No problem. It's an easy day today with both of you guys in here. I could actually just do the stats if you'd like.
995,000.
It's close. Like Cooley could have Jack, Queen, Jack, King, King, Queen, Jack.
Come on. She almost folded ace king.
Yeah.
But that one obviously a bigger
Slightly different situation.
And
No,
she
that's-
folds. She
I
folds.
think this is more of a stack preservation kind of fold. Like
Yeah.
she's doing really well, and she's gonna be able to put some pressure on people without having to be the one calling off.
Yeah, and you play differently at the final table, like I said, than you would earlier in the tournament because,
This is ICM world right here.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Every
It's
move
the
could be
e-ticket
a-
ride on that. So, okay, ran into Norman Chat. He had a quiz for you, Jamie.
Oh no.
How do you cash in a World Series event and lose money?
How would you be?
Well, not with rebuys.
Oh,
without
not
rebuys.
with rebuys?
No rebuys.
No rebuys.
Yeah.
How?
if
All
you've
right,
over,
so-
I know the answer.
Oh,
if you've
sold
overextended
more than 100%.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
producers,
no,
right?
no, he didn't do that. He
Okay.
didn't do
But
that.
I've heard there have been stories like that before.
Oh, yes, there
I
has.
won't name
As we
names.
watch. So think about that, folks, for
All
a
right.
moment. Cooley now with pocket nines, still a short stack at about 1.3 million.
It's probably a shove. You don't want
And the
somebody to
cutoff.
outflop you there with your nines. It's very hard to argue with an all-in.
Absolutely.
Agree. And if
But
you're
she's just
raising,
cutting
you
out a
are,
raise,
you
it
are
looks
raising
like.
to call all in if someone
She's-
jams on you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Raise
Nines is just too strong four-handed.
160,000.
All right, so let's see what's happening behind in the small blind. Ooh, pocket pair
Okay.
for Brooke. Just a call, though, I think, for her. Now Eisenberg
Calls 160,000.
folds the big. King 4. Oh, no, now the book small. Now 8-7 suited for Aoki. Not too much for her.
And now he comes along for the ride. It must be fun to play
Players.
7-8 after suited after a jam fest
Right.
that the final table usually is, and she
Ooh,
picks
two
up a flush
spades
draw.
in there.
Also, you have two scare cards, the 2 over cards, and you've got 3 people in the pot.
But Cooley is first with the best hand, pocket nines.
I don't see her betting unless she's making her hand into a bluff.
She didn't want to see any callers behind her.
Right,
and
right.
then to have that flop come out.
Well, look at her
But
go.
look at this. What do we know?
There's a reason she's made all those final tables. She's aggressive and she's got moves.
That's
Interesting.
200,000.
Yeah,
And there were no raises behind her.
Yeah.
This should be a flop that favors the pre-flop raiser. It's just a little scary when you're three-handed and it's a connected board with a flush draw. It's really hard to shake your opponents, both of them, for them to have nothing on this board.
Aoki's going to call, and if a flush doesn't come on the turn, Aoki can probably take it away. I'm guessing because Cooley's, like, again, she's asking a question.
Calls 200,000.
200,000 each. Saw Brooke fold. Turn card. It's black, but a club. Aoki has the action.
And let's see if Cooley has another barrel in her. It's a lot scary. It's a precarious situation for her with a 900K stack and a 1 million chip pot. What size can she really pick here that doesn't just put her in a really bad spot?
I would say if she goes all in, she can get Aoki to fold. But she doesn't.
She does.
There you
There
go.
it
Look
is.
at that. But she also didn't, that's brave
Don't move
move
it.
because she didn't know what Aoki had. And Aoki is asking,
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
She,
Aoki's probably going to fold.
yeah, I
With
think
the one
she's got
card to come.
PTSD from the last hand she
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
And, you know,
She's
so
like, she's like, I don't want to be number 4 in chips. And then
Exactly.
she goes, good move by Cooley.
well, it worked out.
Good
You know, a
aggressive
little
play.
unorthodox by everybody we
Right.
were feeling here in the booth, but it worked out
The
how we
worst
thought it
feeling
would work
ever.
out. Yeah, right.
when Aoki sighs and calls, and you
Yeah.
just know you have 2 outs. You're like, oops.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And to see the 2 match suits out there.
She basically turned her hand into a bluff.
Yep. Yeah.
She used being the pre-flop
Good point.
aggressor to her advantage.
So nicely done, Diane Cooley, now up to almost 2 million as the chip stacks are starting to get a little more similar. There's the Cooley's friends here, checking things out. Diane Cooley, as mentioned, from Georgia, their new home out there. So, okay, so the quiz was how do you, and not a rebuy, it's not selling more of yourself than you could, cash in a World Series event like today and lose money. So
I'm surprised I don't know how to do this because I'm a min cash master. I try to cash for as
Actually,
little
I-
as possible every time. So I can't believe I could cash for less than the buy-in, and I haven't
as
figured out how.
Norman was relaying the information. I stumbled upon the correct answer, and they were, of course, on the bubble. They
split.
they chopped the bubble,
Gotcha.
Okay.
and he lost money.
Norman did?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was going to be the Stone Cold Bubble. He was leaving the table of the 15K
Oh, then
horse
it's a good
event.
news story.
Right, yeah.
And Alan Kessler said, no, wait, maybe somebody else will bust during this time.
Good
and
old Alan
somebody else
Kessler.
busted
Yeah.
on the bubble.
Wow.
And they came up, a $1,500 event, they wound up with $1,200 each.
That was a good puzzle.
Yeah, I wish I knew when I ran into him before because I would have been like, wow, you made like negative $10 hourly. Good job.
He didn't seem his usual jolly self. He must have just busted out when I
Weird,
ran in and was like, Norman Chad.
Wait a minute.
I love you.
Bubbly
She just
self.
say
She did say that.
jolly self.
What
Yeah.
did I say? What did I say?
You said his normal jolly self?
Yeah, who
Who are you talking to?
he's a jolly curmudgeon.
Maybe he's just never happy to see us.
Oh, here we've got
That's
a
very
flush
possible.
draw for Cooley.
Maybe just
flop.
tired of
And
us, you
two
know.
pair for Aoki. This
Middle and bottom for Aoki.
top pair. I think that this is
Wow,
gonna be
that's
an all-in
everything.
situation.
That flop is everything everybody wants.
Top pair and a flush draw and two pair. I think there's going to be some sort of shovery, dovery, and a call here,
It's
unless they're both
almost
traffic.
50-50.
Is Cooley up for this? For a shove here?
I
Yeah.
think so. She thinks she's going to get called. You want to
But
get
she
it
has
all in
$2
with that
million
hand.
now.
She shouldn't
They
shove
have
though.
similar
Like,
stacks.
This is a hand you want to get value out of. You have top pair and you have a really good flush draw.
Yeah.
And you're too deep stacked to be shoving. But you can put in a raise here if you want. You could play it slow also and let Aoki keep betting.
If she picks
Everything
up a
gets called,
vibe off
right?
of Aoki that Aoki's strong, I mean, she's going to want to get, you kind of want to get it in with queen. But, you know, how would she know that Aoki
Yeah, you have
connected
such a
so strong?
stranglehold on this flop
Yeah.
that I like just calling much more.
For all
Yeah.
your folks who complain about what happens on the board for your games, take a look at this. It happens to everyone. Somebody's going to come up really angry here.
The thing is, if you're two pair and you're a small pair and there's a straight draw and a flush draw out there, and even if the Cooley just has a queen, you kind of want to get in and while
Oh,
you still
Aoki
have
wants to get
two
tons
pair.
of chips in this pot. I think Cooley is better off, though, playing this slow, just knowing that there aren't many bad cards for you
No,
coming off.
I'm saying Aoki, like, now what if she has queen 9? Then your two pairs no good. But I like that. See, everyone's a lot more, has a lot more finesse than I do. I put
You're
out
like,
my
let's get
shoving
it.
hands.
Yeah,
ready.
actually,
Let's get
you're like, let's just get all these chips in. I'm like, man, I don't want to play with you.
Let's go.
225 from Aoki.
All in. There you go.
There it is.
There you
And
go.
all in with just top pair and the flush draw. Aoki with two pair.
Top pair and a flush draw is such a strong hand. But no, there's only one card to come now at this point.
About the same as you have.
Yeah, with the board being so draw heavy, I don't see Aoki ever folding this.
Yeah.
Having the flush draw out there, and also the 9 is kind of an interesting card. You can be up against.
Yeah.
So
She's got to be worried about
combo
queen,
draws.
queen 9 set, you know.
Cooley would be the player all in, according to our count.
Yeah.
And it would put Aoki, if she can fade the river, if this all goes as we think, and put her back.
Maybe they can
over
run it
4 million.
twice. That's definitely a run it twice type situation in a cash
Yeah.
game.
Right?
Oh, this is an intense hand for sure.
Cooley with the shove.
What do you know? You got about
Are you surprised she didn't shove? We talked about her shoving the flop.
No, it was too much.
Yeah.
Your hand is
Oh,
too
you
good.
mentioned- yeah, you're right.
I
Okay.
think I'm
1.595.
And Aoki, again, that look on her face tells me I can't get away
can't
from
wait.
this.
No, I think
can't
she's
get
like.
away.
I think she's
Oh, you
like
think she
annoyed.
can't wait? I think
No,
she,
no, I'm saying
okay.
she's like I can't win. She's gonna call, but she's just
Right.
she's upset at the shove because now it just raises so many questions. You know,
do this for people at home.
Questions are big money and that bracelet on the line.
there are a lot of hands that can beat her at this point.
1,595.
Like, you got to rule out set of 3, set of 5s because you have a 5 and a 3. So
And you have to rule out queens because it would have been re-raised pre. And 9s.
And Aoki
You
was
have
the one to
feel
raise,
pretty
and she just got
good. Yeah.
called by Cooley.
That's what I'm saying. You can rule out a lot of the hands that are beating you because they would have 3-bet you pre-flop. Queens and 9s would probably 3-bet, and you're holding a 5 and a 3, so you're not as worried about
Yeah.
them
And it's
having
not
a
queen
set.
9 either.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she's worried about queen 9 and a set of 9s.
Is she calling with queen 9 pre-flop?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So it's in the range.
Queen 9 suited.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a very
But she.
big bet.
Yeah.
It's hard. You know, Aoki was the chip lead. Oh,
they're
see
just
what
chatting.
saying.
Somebody's talking at the poker table during a hand.
weird.
It is strange.
Okay. I usually don't struggle with that.
Sorry for talking over, but it sounded like a will you show if I fold kind of question.
Talking is a good way to get information out of your opponent. It's a big call.
on the beach. I'm probably 1 mile from it.
She said she would show, which would indicate.
I live like a half.
I think I have a hand.
I'm just surprised that there's chit chat going on that's
Nice weekend in
not involving this big hand.
I just don't understand.
That's ladies for
Unless
you.
she's playing scared poker, you know, can you get away from this?
She's, you know, it's a big decision. So
It
she's,
is, absolutely.
She's
I
thinking
don't discount
it through.
that at all.
Yeah.
Now they have the boat.
And especially after she lost half her stack to Eisenberg recently, you know, and she's been in control for so long, and you just don't want to finish fourth.
You always want to be the shover. You don't want to be the caller.
Right.
No, she's being put to the test.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're so close, and if there's a good tournament,
Aoki with no club in her hand has to factor in a little bit too. You got to give your opponent some more draws.
The other two ladies are just chit-chatting. It's like,
They are at the other end of the table.
interesting what's going on here.
This is no crosstalk. Mikiyo Aoki with a decision basically for her tournament life, even though she wouldn't be the one all in. Very close chip stack. She has Cooley pipped on the chips. But even with the two pair, it could all come crumbling down with a disastrous river card for her. And Cooley would have a monster stack.
Yeah, me too.
BWI is definitely.
And she does find a fold with two pair.
I mean, for the DC airport.
Oh,
Gets bad news.
She had Queen Jack.
she's not happy.
Queen Jack.
Queen Jack of clubs.
You know, but you never know what the river card would have come.
We really need the rabbit hunt.
Yeah, at this point, we'd
So
love
her
to see the
card-
rabbit hunt. Let's see what they're saying.
Was that your hand?
She had the top pair.
That was your hand? Yeah. Oh, I thought that was her hand. I'm like, she laid that down? So I was like, oh, Jesus.
Lay down better than that.
Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense. Thank you. Nice hand.
Thank you.
You had it all.
She's.
A good time to go to the rail right there for her.
Of course, you need. You know, she's been playing really well, and
She
she's
is the short stack, though, but she
had
is
an
a
unlucky
tremendous
last
player.
15 minutes.
And I think that had to factor into her
course.
thinking that I can play, and I am the best player. She's got to think that.
Yeah.
So what's the worst thing could happen here? What's the best thing could happen? And that has to go through your mind. And the worst thing is she's down to, you know, less than a big blind.
When
if
you
she loses
shove,
that.
you have the fold equity. When you call, you don't have the fold.
Right.
The other person's already all in.
She's still got $1.6 million.
Yeah. Yeah, she's still in the game.
50,000.
Aoki.
Cooley is really,
Knows.
she's been very aggressive and, you know, made some good moves here.
And Ginger in the box gave her some nice cards just to cool off. 7-4 fold. And just kind of think about it. Because that sticks with you, right? I mean, you're going to think about that for a while, aren't you, Jamie?
Yeah, it's nice if you can just kind of compartmentalize that and say, I'll go over this hand later,
Yeah.
talk to some people about it, and like just on to the next one. But it's easier said than done.
Yeah, just shake it off and move on.
So after the wash, it's Cooley with 2.4 million. Still third place, it's Aoki as the short stack.
And Cooley might have, I don't know if it's strategy, but she might have thought that she's doing him a favor to say, like, I had this monster, you know, to be nice and everything like that, and didn't realize how much it would get into Aoki's head. You can see she's thinking about the hand that came before.
Brooke, she's getting her cards dealt to her.
Oh,
Small suited
50,000.
connectors.
I got 3 players.
3 players. See this flop. Ace high.
Cooley has the best hand here with King 10.
Hasn't played a lot of big tournaments, but she said the final tables she's been making have really helped her confidence, helped her game. She understands the game better, and this tournament has really increased her knowledge of where she's at, what to do in certain situations.
Confidence is a big thing in poker. I've noticed a phenomenon where a person wins a poker tournament and then they go on to win a few more after that, then have a great summer because
It makes a lot of sense too, because confidence makes you be a little more aggressive. You
Yeah.
like you see spots a little more clearly, and you take them instead of being afraid and just blinding down. So you do get in bigger clashes, and that's how you win tournaments.
Absolutely. Take a look at her bio board, brought to you by GPI-THM, the Live Poker Collective, 52 years old. Lives now in Alpharetta, Georgia. Graduated College of New Jersey. You're from New Jersey? You're from near the College of New Jersey?
I'm kind of near there. Yeah, I went to Rutgers.
Okay.
That's where Chucky is from too. Hackensack.
Oh wow, I lived in Hackensack. I used
Did
to
you
work there.
really?
Yep.
So the series debuted on Sci-Fi and USA this last
Yeah.
Tuesday. Unfortunately, the Giants Dodgers are playing. I missed it.
That's
And-
okay.
and,
You can catch
but
it in
you
the
got
reruns.
Got some great reviews.
Yeah, I saw that.
94% on the tomato meter,
yeah.
19 reviews.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
People love
You've
it.
been having a lot of fun. You've been very active on social media as you shoot
Oh, gosh,
here and
yes.
there.
I feel bad for my poker followers because it's been nonstop Chucky for the last few months.
No.
The only thing bad about when you're being really successful in Hollywood is that you kind of disappear from poker for short bouts.
That
I'll
is
be like,
true.
playing this game, you're like, can't. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
Still root for you.
So how's the series been versus the feature film?
Everybody's got an ace here. We have two
Oh, they
suited
do.
aces and one ace.
So we know an ace is not coming. We
Yeah,
don't need to talk about this now.
Right.
But has it been a different experience?
I
Series?
love doing this series. There's actually more money in television in terms of production values and everything than there is in making the films because we've got a flush draw here for Brooke.
Gutter ball for Cooley.
Brooke checks the best hand.
Well,
And if she's been paying attention, Brooke has been checking and folding to people who tend to, go ahead and venture.
well, she's not going to fold this. I mean, it's ace 7.
No, you're right. You're right.
You should
But-
maybe try to keep the pot small
But that's
so
what
she
keeps
can
chips
get
in the middle,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
She likes to play the smaller pots. That's
Right.
hence the check.
Small ball poker.
That's what she told me.
Is that what she said? Mm-hmm. No, she's not. Neither. She's probably not too happy about this.
And,
True.
when-
now she's just gonna bet. It looks like.
In the early days when
Interesting.
Dan on the ground, we talked about small ball, we all misconstrued that he liked small pots or small cards, and we thought, oh, this isn't Daniel's wheelhouse, but he was kind of controlling the size of the pot. That's right. Well, Brooke is saying she likes both, the control the size of the pot,
Right.
and she likes the small connector. So
And Brooke takes it down. It's always nice to take it down when you just have a draw and you're not sure if it's gonna get there. So
which it doesn't most of the time. Yeah.
yeah. And even if she made it to the river, her ace high would probably have been good because she doesn't know it, but she has a better kicker.
All right. So how many episodes?
We 8 episodes. I'm in the last 4. It's crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. People love it. It's a fantastic show, even if you're not into Chucky.
Same
so good.
folks from the feature film, or is
It's
it a
a
little
whole.
different?
It's a group of kids, like very attractive kids, very really good actors, and then halfway through the movie, all the OGs, as I call us. Andy Barkley, Kyle the babysitter,
come out of the
myself,
woodwork.
Tiffany. We all show up in this town to wreak havoc.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations. Good
Thank
to see
you.
back
Thank you
on
very
there.
much.
That's
And the thing I
fantastic.
like about acting is you work really hard and you go home with a paycheck. Poker, a lot of times you work really hard. End of the day, you have
Nothing,
less
yeah.
money than when
Yep.
you started.
And
But with poker, sometimes you don't work really hard and you get a paycheck. That's
That's
kind of
true,
cool
too.
too.
Right.
So much of Hollywood now going to just animation, voiceover.
I'm not bringing that today.
You're done with a movie in 2 or 3 days in a booth and all like
Right,
that. And,
yeah.
But you've been doing a lot of voice work all the time.
Yeah, there's a Monsters Inc. television series, and I reprise my role as Celia, the snaky-haired person. Aoki is back to her old tricks. She sensed some weakness from Eisenberg.
Do you like the voice work just when you go
I
in?
love it. Yeah, it's really fun. You just go in, you do as many takes as you want. You're out in like 5 minutes, and then you collect your
There you go.
not so big paycheck. And then also Family Guy. I'm Bonnie on Family Guy. The
That's awesome.
perpetually pregnant Bonnie. Eisenberg has outflopped Aoki.
You're always pregnant and everything, aren't you?
Oh, I have done a lot of and I've never been pregnant in real life. My sister.
Because you
But I
got your
play one on
fill.
TV, yeah.
Right. When I'm making yes. Well, when I'm making babies in movies, I just scream really loud, like the birthing scenes. You've seen it in film.
That is not a fantasy, by the way. That is the real nightmare people live.
I scream and they spray me with sweat and I scream some more. This is an interesting. Okay.
Ooh, a 9 falls on the turn, unfortunately for Aoki.
That because she was called on the flop, she might be a little more cautious there. She'll probably try to check it to river and hope that her hand is good enough to take it down.
That check looked trappy from Eisenberg to me. I don't know why when I just looked at her.
You just stared right into her soul. It's not the cards that you're looking at?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, Alon.
I saw
Oh,
it. I
now
saw
this
it.
ace should slow both of the girls down. I think it might possibly be a check. neither of them has top pair, and there was a little interaction and a call on the flop.
Yeah, it just depends if Eisenberg thinks she needs to turn her hand into a bluff, which she looks like she's doing.
And she can afford to do because she's the big stack. She's got Aoki on the ropes. She'd actually be doing Aoki a favor by betting a lot on the river.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
If she bets a little bit, she might get called by Aoki. But if she does a big bet, trying to turn in a bluff, then she's doing Aoki a favor because
I like this little block bet. She's just trying to get. She's min betting river. This is a little fancy plan. I like it. She doesn't want to give Aoki a chance to bluff her off of her hand, so she's just gonna min bet herself. It does freeze players a lot. Like you get a tiny bit of value from a hand like Aoki's hand, and it does. I don't know what it is about the min bet. It's so weird that the other player's like, okay, if I was gonna bluff with this pot, maybe I just won't. It's too strange.
It's kind of insulting if you call. I think Aoki's gonna even 80,000. That's like almost 10% of her stack, and she did get a little resistance when she let out on the flop. There's a king out there, an ace out there. You kind
of have to call because you're getting such good odds that if you're ever folding to a missed flush draw there, it's a disaster.
That's true. That's true. Good point, Jamie.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Aoki might want to take a personal break right now.
Aw, she's running pretty bad.
Antonio once told me if I'm doing really bad in the game, I should just take a little bit of a walk. And it's not even bad. It's like bad luck, or it's not like play bad, but sometimes it's good just to, you know, miss a
mix
hand
up
or
the
two.
aura. Yeah.
Just move it around.
Exactly.
Sometimes you also don't realize you're on tilt until you take the walk, and you're like, "Ooh, I was feeling like deal me in, hurry up," you know.
Right. Well, it's an interesting turn of events.
You playing any other events coming up, Jamie?
Yep. I think I might play the Monster Sack tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
They come around so fast.
I know, it's like.
Can they talk you into a live event this World Series, you think? You were talking about if you could get in that 6 max, but you can't. So
I'm a little nervous. If I did play something, it would be the 6 max. You know, of course, you don't want to miss the main event, but, you know, I'm a little gun shy from being in lockdown.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, it's almost like a weird agoraphobia. Like, I don't know if I want to be around all those
exactly what you
people.
mean. Yeah.
Although I am cautiously venturing out into the world. But I don't know if might not play any events this year, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, you're here a few days. You could play the online one on Sunday.
there is an 8 max Crazy 8 3 rebuy online this Sunday. Yeah. 888.
Online
PLO.
tournaments.
PLO.
Yeah, I love PLO. Oh my God, that's what I was playing in Canada all the time. I love that. The high-low, so good.
Yeah.
That's good in home games
But
too,
you can
because
get it out of
everybody
your
goes
system,
crazy.
you
Yeah,
know?
they don't know the odds. Everyone's like thinking they're gonna win.
Well, that's the thing with PLO. It's like you have 4 cards. Like, oh, I can make a lot of different hands with this. Let's go. How could I ever fold?
Right.
I'm a huge fish in PLO. I love it though. It's fun.
Omaha. I'm not gonna say I'm a great Omaha 8 player, but boy, do I love it. Because I love action. There's so much action in that game.
The World Series of Poker is back live in Las Vegas. 88 live events, several online events, 1 bracelet for Pennsylvania only, online, of course, so lots of opportunities. Yeah, the 10 online bracelets for New Jersey and Nevada were kind of a latecomer to the situation. So, you know, somebody asked me about the number of bracelets and does it cheapen the bracelet and everything. I said, all you got to do is look at the winner and see how they feel. And does that look cheap to you? No.
I also don't think it cheapens the bracelets. Like at the Olympics, every year they give out tons and tons of medals, gold medals. But it doesn't mean like, oh, well, they gave out 76 gold medals this year, so your gold medal is cheap.
The swimmers. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, you've got to be an exemplary player to get to the top of the stack in these.
It is so hard to win a poker tournament no matter where you're playing a poker tournament, how big the poker tournament is.
It always cracks me up how everyone in the poker community is always saying, like, whoever won the main event is a fish. It's like, well, you try to cut your way through 8,000 people. It's not all luck.
Please call me a fish for winning the main event. I will wear that badge proudly.
Yeah, right?
Like I say, it was a big blind special.
Big blind special. Obviously, they've got different specials in Delaware than we do here in Nevada.
Believe it or not, I only have 2 people over there. They just make a lot of noise.
They're doing good.
They're doing great.
They're doing
Really,
a
we
great
could get our
job,
people to
yes.
all team. If we could get our
Small
people to
blindness.
all team up together, it would sound like a good cheering section.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the ladies all seem kind of relaxed, and they've been playing together for a while. They seem like they all know each other, and they're weirdly rooting for each other. Although I don't know how you can root for someone you want to take down, but it does seem like they're
At
super
least you're
supportive.
happy for their success if it's not at your
Yeah, right,
expense,
right.
maybe.
It's a much different environment than a normal tournament. I stacked a lady 2 years ago, and she came over to my side of the table and added her chips to my stack. She's like, "Oh, nice
Sweet.
hand," and she
Yeah.
like pushes them all over, and she's like making them look nice. I was
Let
like,
me
"What
help
is
you."
happening?"
You're like, get away from my stack, bitch!
Did
Don't touch my chips.
Did you check your backpack after that?
Yeah.
So maybe-
It's very
You
sweet.
guys have to be bored.
So, Brooke, in the small blind,
Oh, I gotcha.
she likes to complete that small blind, and she gets
How are you?
punished by Eisenberg with an actual hand.
$300,000.
Nice hand, Eisenberg. And I think that level of aggression is going to start for a while throughout the rest of this tournament. She's picking up chips when she doesn't have to turn her cards on their back, and that's a big thing.
Yep. So as she counts out 5.4 million, our former chip leader Aoki now down to just 10 big blinds.
Wow. Yeah, Aoki's just
Aoki.
Aoki, because Aoki is just looking for a good spot to push. That's what she's just like waiting for a
It's a
hand.
very disappointing feeling when you had a lot of play in your stack
Yeah,
earlier, and just
yeah.
unfortunate things happen. Or ace queen to ace king, four-handed is very unlucky.
All she has to do is double up twice, and she's back in the game.
Yeah, okay.
Or
Let me talk about
right,
that
yes.
for a second. I just have to double up twice. Come on.
Doable, it's doable. Yeah, the sad thing is when you're waiting for a hand to push with, all of a sudden you go card dead. And you can't go too many rounds with the blinds and antes so high. You can't. She probably is going to, do a few rotations before she has to make a move.
And keep the pressure on Eisenberg with the suited Jack-7. It's now the big
and
blind.
that is not it for
and there you
Aoki.
go. That's
She's going to have to let it go.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. No, just a call from Eisenberg.
Oh, okay.
5 of
Well, let's hope a jack doesn't come
You
out.
need 5 of the.
I'm rooting for this
We've
plucky
said that
chick.
before.
Yeah.
Between these two.
Maybe a 4 comes out.
So I'm surprised
Maybe
Eisenberg
Jack
did
and
not
4.
raise there just to try to create a little dominance.
Well, she
I was
knows
surprised
it.
she didn't jam there. It's less than 10 bigs at this point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, about 11 bigs.
So Eisenberg in very good shape here with the 7 as, if it goes to a chop pot.
She might not have
Her
raised
7
because
still
she
would play.
knows Aoki is, in push territory. So
Okay. That is 100,000.
she's got a gut shot. Eisenberg has a gut shot, and Aoki takes a stab at it. Good for her.
Calls 100,000.
Eisenberg wants to see the river.
Who doesn't love a good river? Okay. Eisenberg completes.
She makes her straight, but she kind of
Nice check.
She's trying to trap.
This pot is so big for Aoki. I just expect her to try to stab at this after stabbing on the turn.
She's basically, she hasn't got a lot of play left in her. I think she needs to let this
She's
one
looking at
go.
her stack.
Oh, she did take a stab at it.
That is 125,000.
She's got like a hero's heart for sure. Eisenberg checks her cards like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I guess I'll
Yep.
just have to raise. I love that
A
move.
Yeah.
snap fold, no
Yeah,
posturing from
all
Aoki
in.
at all.
Oh, yeah.
So Eisenberg will take another pot from Aoki. She seemed to be holding over the former chip leader, and now she increases her chip lead up to almost 6 million as she has taken control of this final table. Poker legends, stacks of cash, and some of the most memorable cash game moments of all time. Watch every season and episode of the great High Stakes Poker on PokerGO right now. Remember all those old guys there?
I recognize a few of those, yeah.
Yeah. Doyle said he was talking about playing a World Series event this
That
year.
would be amazing. We love Doyle.
It would ruin all those pictures I took of him at his final World Series event a few years ago, where he made a final table.
I love that picture of him like rolling away on his little scooter, and they're like, yes, it's his last tournament.
I know. I came out. It was freezing.
So now, yeah, he's the Brett
just to
Favre
take
of
pictures
poker.
of him, you know, and it's like, no, he's wearing this red blanket somebody gave him because it's so cold in there.
Queen 10, super playable four-handed.
Aoki down to under $500,000 chips in the small blind. Big blind really takes its toll on her right now, as it did last time with the big blind ante.
Just gonna try to get something going there.
And yeah, we got to put some in.
She's like, well, it's
Put her
cheap.
off the hook. 6-4 against a couple of queens.
Yeah. She might.
This means everything
be
for
thinking of
Aoki,
doing a
and
stop
she
and
gets
go.
a 4.
Stop and go would be pretty effective here, as we see the other players didn't flop anything.
Checked around. Now the 9 out there, and that hits Cooley. So Aoki coming up short.
Cooley.
I mean, I'm thinking if you hit anything in the flop, you have to shove.
I would think so, but you know, you've been playing for so long. There's 2 other people. Yeah.
Play the damn game properly, okay, Jen?
Yeah. You have separation anxiety from the tournament.
Oh, I can
it's
imagine.
Like an emotional connection that
I was
you have.
really
It
worried
makes it
about
hard.
Jamie
I just got over it.
announcing a
I got
tournament that you
49th
got
in this
busted.
one.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm still not over it.
Nice run.
Just cry a little bit on every break. It's no big deal.
That's just from working with us. How about the game? Aoki gets out of the way.
Oh,
and she would have
nice.
rivered 2 pair.
Oh, she folded. Okay.
Yeah.
Now she's like, ugh.
Yeah. She folded the 2 pair against Cooley before when she had the best of it.
Yeah.
In a huge pot. And just
But
bad luck. Just bad luck. Again, it was a right fold.
When Cooley bets and gets called by Brooke, you
you
gotta
have to
start
fold.
thinking
Your hand
like,
isn't
I'm
good.
not.
It goes back to the flop where you got to shove the flop.
Yeah.
Shove the flop.
She might have been
That's it.
planning to check jam the flop. Wouldn't have been terrible.
Possible. And who am I to tell them?
Every time I'm getting ready to check raise, everyone checks behind me and then
You're like,
draws
"Darn
out on
it."
me. I'm like,
Yep.
oh. Especially if you're at a televised table, you want to say, no, I was going to check raise. I'm not like.
Just to let everyone know at home, I was going to check raise.
Right.
Not afraid.
Yes. I had a move planned that would make everybody gasp in astonishment. By
So sexy. Check raises are so sexy.
I love check raising. Check raise.
Didn't there used to be rules against it in card rooms, like no sandbagging?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A home game.
A home game.
No check raising.
I was like, so rude. Yeah. No check raising.
What? It's like.
No having sex with the massage girls. Oh.
That's a different
That's a
rule.
different. Sorry.
That's my dark bio. All right, Brooke will take it down. Second place in chips still now with almost 4.8 million.
I like the move.
Brooke took that down, but she didn't. She is not the one that connected with the flop. I missed it. I was thinking about those massage girls. Sorry. Well, that was.
No, she had the 9, right?
Oh, she had the 9. No, I thought
Yeah.
the other girl had it. Okay.
No, she did not have the 9.
She
had
did
queen
not have the
10.
9.
She turned open-ended.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She made a move and took
Yep.
it down.
I'm
Good
just too
move there.
enthralled
We bet
here in the booth.
125K.
You were thinking
and
about those
Brooke raised
massage
I was,
girls
yeah,
too.
you really threw me
Right.
for a little. I didn't expect that to come up.
Yeah,
today.
I'm trying to be clean. I'm trying to play. I'm trying to talk a clean
This
game.
is like better than cable. You know, cable you could say that stuff,
right.
but streaming,
Right.
you can say shit.
You can't. Oh,
Yeah.
you just
Whoa.
did.
Wow, Lon.
Goodness, Mr. Potty Mouth.
I don't know if I can commentate with you anymore. I thought this was a family program.
Right. I've been holding back. I'm telling you.
Oh no, I'm sorry, PokerGo. I've opened the floodgates.
You have.
So what does it take for
Oh, here we
Aoki?
go. We've got
Ooh,
Cooley.
queens. We haven't seen a big pocket pair in a while.
Yeah. It's,
Cooley now with queens.
and I'm imagining she's gonna raise. I think she has too much to actually shove. She probably wants to get some action on her queens. She might do a little trappity dabbity.
She's definitely been with Phil Locke too long.
Yep.
Yeah, he does like to. He does speak his own language for sure.
And there's no such thing as being with Phil Locke for too long.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like
right.
a wonderful person.
Thank you, Jamie.
You're
Wow,
welcome.
Strong.
Yeah.
Very nice. You're fired.
Look Looks like she went for the raise there. Wants to get some money in. And and here we've got a quick fold from Brooke. And Eisenberg, she's got a big stack. She might want to.
The 3-bet is so small that you just have to peel here with even 9 high.
And especially a lot of times when you have like a hand like a suited connectors,
you could crack things.
Even if you put the other person on a big pocket pair, and you know you're going to get their whole stack if you the flop bounces the right way.
Yeah, I feel like Cooley's really small 3-bet sizing puts Eisenberg on notice that she has a big hand, and you're happy then. You're like, okay, I know I have to crack.
Yeah, it's weird. You kind of want to call, but oh, look at this. There you go. And an ace. Cooley is not going to like that ace.
Eisenberg can see a cheap turn card, I would imagine, here.
Well, if Cooley bets, she's going to maybe bet just to see if Eisenberg has. Oh, nope, she's checking. Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, a raise the eyebrows. You see that?
Yeah,
oh, really? Why are you checking
okay.
there?
All right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and a spade.
Almost
and
a straight flush.
Yeah,
straight flush draw.
It's still out
Cooley's
there.
still
Look
alive
at
with the
that.
Queen of Spades.
So sexy to see.
But the 7 of spades, how ugly would that be?
Oh, gosh.
Depends which player you are.
It'd be insult to injury, the 7 of
Just
spades.
in general, poker aura.
Well, it's just, Cooley just had a run of bad luck with that flop, and I think she's.
And we've seen Eisenberg do this before. She heads the hand and bets it.
Yeah.
There's no slow play in her.
Yeah.
This is
all in. Oh, wow.
That can't be good.
Well, she
that
does have
can't
out.
be good.
She
A
does-
snap call, and so
She has the
everything
queen-high
but the
flush.
7 of spades in play.
And she's got 6 outs, so I'm sure that was into
Queens
her
versus
thinking.
the flush. She has the over spade.
Cooley at risk. Eisenberg with the flush, a straight flush possibility, which she doesn't need.
That was a dumb lead out on the turn though, right?
No, it wasn't. That was actually like.
So Cooley on the hook. Eisenberg with a chance for another huge knockout.
If she didn't
Or
have
another
the
big
queen
pot.
of spades, she would not have done the shove. She's
Right.
like, I also have the spade draw before flush.
Always a sweat. Always a sweat, isn't it?
She'll welcome the sweat here. Here is the river card. It is another black
card.
four.
I thought it was it.
Yeah, but it cannot be. And that will do it. Diane Cooley knocked out. A terrific run for her.
Good game, Cooley.
4th place worth $36,269.
You've got to admire these ladies and how hard they're fighting and how well they're playing.
Playing with you.
and how classy they are.
Yeah, so classy.
Nice run for Cooley. And wow, we got to talk about Aoki here. Pay jumping with
Yes.
5 big blinds. Just
Yes.
watching that carnage happen and knowing
that's-
she is
yeah.
profiting from it. It's a great
Exactly.
feeling.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for
yeah. She
sure.
just, yeah.
How much was her pay jump there?
It's going to be 14,000. The next one.
That's not pocket change.
Seriously.
No, it's not.
That's a
And
main
so
event buy-in, I'm just saying.
Lara
Get in there.
Eisenberg now with a monster stack of almost $8 million at this final table that is now
Big blind
three-handed looking for her first bracelet. She's got a World Series circuit ring, and she would love to put bracelet right next to it. And there you see that. That is comedian Tig Notaro.
They look really similar. Wow.
Actress, stand-up comedian, and
Really?
it's not Lara Eisenberg, Dr. Lara Eisenberg. How about
They
that?
do have a
Amazing.
similarity, although I cannot see the bottom of Eisenberg's face.
So,
This is a shovable
okay.
hand for
yeah,
sure.
on the button. 405,000.
She's all
She
in.
says all in.
Hopefully nobody wakes up with a hand.
Brooke with 7-4 suited out. I mean, it's small enough.
Oh,
yeah, King Queen for
yeah.
Eisenberg, and has Aoki dominated.
Bad
She's
luck.
the one that took the bulk of Aoki's chips a while ago, and now trying to finish the job.
Yeah, you can see Aoki is only a 22% here. Just looking for an 8 or a straight.
Mikiyo Aoki on the
Strong
hook.
start to the day, but man, it's been real brutal for her the last
Yeah.
hour.
She's had some bad luck.
And she needs to see an 8 here or a running club. Nope, the clubs don't help any.
Yeah.
So just the 8, yeah.
Uh,
And Eisenberg
she has 3 outs.
chance for a very good chance for back-to-back knockouts here at this final table to get heads up. Jack of hearts.
9 will do it now too.
You should put that up.
Oh,
on
it won't. Sorry, because it gives a higher straight to Eisenberg. I take that back.
Yep, because there's the queen and the king. And now the river card is that Aoki's last of this tournament. She needs an 8. It's another 10, and that will do it. Eisenberg with back-to-back knockouts.
Heartbreaking for Aoki, especially since she came so close before. Well, she'll be back for sure.
Not a bad result. $50,000 for third and just a 1K buy-in.
Mikiyo Aoki was the chip leader after day 2, the chip leader after day 3, and finishes in 3rd place here at the 1K World Series of Poker Ladies Championship. Well done.
Good game.
Where we could see each other.
I don't know if I should have folded the 2 pair.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't want to be doing this all the time. I feel like I'm like, you know.
We're heads up now between those two.
Okay.
Heads up.
Lara Eisenberg now with 8.3
You're
million.
gonna redraw for seats?
And Debora Brooke with 4.6 million. They're going to take a break. We are too. They're going to set up for heads up. Bring out the cash, and we'll crown a champion. One of these two will win their very first World Series of Poker bracelet. 3rd place, Mikiyo Aoki, 71,005 for the runner-up, 115,694 to the winner with the gold bracelet on top. And so, myself, Lon McCarron, Jennifer Tilley, Jamie Kerstetter, we're going to come back after a short break, and we will play Heads Up for the cash and for the bracelet, coming to you live from the World Series of Poker at the Rio.
You feel strange cheering, and usually the Thunderdome's like pretty raucous.
I love when the, like in times past, when the English people, because they're used to making
amazing.
so much noise at their soccer
The
tournaments. The songs.
Drinking
the
out of shoes.
The drinking, yes.
That was you, by the way. Oh, no, Maria Ho. It was Maria Ho. Right.
Maria drank out of his shoes.
You would have, though.
I would have. Yeah.
A male shoe or a female shoe?
I think she drank out of her own boot.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's one of those things you do and you go, oh, the alcohol kills the germs, which I don't know if that's true.
So Lou came way ahead here. She might not know that, but she's, you know, as Antonio would say, it's hard to get a pair. I think
Hard
she
to make
knows
a
where
pair.
she's at. She's
Yep.
going to check in.
Do you remember Antonio? You guys kind of dissed him.
I love Antonio. Who dissed him?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, yeah.
It was a COVID thing.
I think she's waiting for, she's waiting for Aoki to make a play, but Aoki didn't do it. And then she would, you know, maybe have shoved. I think she knows exactly where she's at, especially now after everybody checking to the river.
Going to pay her off.
Yeah, there you go. Nice
Just in
value
case.
bet by
Just in
JJ
case.
Liu.
Yep. JJ.
And I understand the call with ace queen.
Sure.
A lot of draws have missed, and the pot's small enough, and the bet's small enough, and you go, okay, I'm not going to let myself get bluffed by such a small bet.
And JJ bet to that bet. She checked to the river, so she under-repped her hand to this.
So Aoki's still the chip leader, 5.5 million. Brooke down to second place, 3.14. I say down to second place because she was almost tied for first, but she has lost about $1 million so far. Here is Brooke in action, 10-9 off.
And even when you're the big stack, it always rattles you a little bit when you lose chips because you realize how quickly things can change. So it's always sort of a little bit of a wake-up call, like.
Blind still at 30 and 60 right now. You can see them right up at the top. They are using the big blind ante format, which is pretty standard. So 60K from the big blind to pay the house ante. Aoki with 4s. It's connectors. Pocket 4s hold up.
If anyone takes a stab at this, they'll probably take it down. Aoki would probably fold her 4s. Oh, now.
That's a sweet thing.
Now she's hoping someone has an ace or a king or a
She's
queen.
going to go ahead and bet out here.
She's not going to get any action, sadly, for her.
5,000 for that.
She's
No,
trying to
we
make
checked
it look
around
like
on that flop. Yeah.
She's trying to make it like, oh, I'm taking a stab
Yeah,
at
I just
it.
have a queen. I just have a queen.
Right. I always feel like it's sort of wasted when you have a set and nobody has anything else, especially when there's 2 other people in the hand.
Yeah, when there's no action on the flop, you know, they don't have paint. And,
Well, somebody could be trapping though.
That's
you know?
true. If
You're
they
up
had a,
against
you know,
some
two
small
top 2 or
stacks,
something
they
like
wanna get milk some
Exactly, exactly. So up top, 115,694.
I kind of want to get into a prop bet with her where, you know, whoever lasts the longest gets to dress the other.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I would love to see what she
would you
came
wear
up
of
with
hers?
for you.
She has to dress me. I don't get to choose.
Oh, you're going that
I'm
way.
sure
Yeah.
it would involve a hat.
And I would have her wear something like super sporty and like if she showed up in like a gray sweatshirt, people would be like, "Who is this?" Right?
A jersey with a number on it, maybe, or
Yeah. A football jersey would look so funny.
It would be too funny.
Aw.
So JJ races with Queen Jack. Brooke gonna come
She's
along
in
with a better
bad
Jack.
shake against King Jack. But
Just a call.
just a call. Let's hope a Jack does not flop. For Lou's sake, now it's anybody's game. Who wants to take it? Who wants to bet and take it? Let's see.
Brooke ahead here with the better Jack.
I think if JJ went all in, that would do it. She bets. Brooke will probably fold because they don't have a lot to play with.
220,000.
220 from JJ. Yep, they both missed.
Also, Brooke is short. Lou is short stacked, and so it gives it a certain gravitas when she leads out because people think, oh, is Brooke calling? Well,
Wow,
this
look
is
at this.
interesting. I like this.
220,000.
All right, let's build a pot.
I
Over
didn't
a
see
million.
the stickiness. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't anticipate.
Oh!
No. Goodbye, JJ.
No.
Yes.
She's still got. Oh,
she's
no.
all in with a Queen Jack. Brooke waiting to call with the King Jack.
I don't know what she's waiting for. She's like, could she
Well,
possibly have
JJ
a
did bet
set
the
or a
flop,
straight?
so now is Brooke thinking maybe Jack's up, she's up against maybe, or?
I wouldn't be thrilled if I was Brooke. I think you eventually make this call.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not like thrilled about this when JJ wants to put her whole tournament life on the line.
Yeah.
She makes the call.
And she does.
Well, bold play by
make
JJ.
the call, and
She
JJ Liu needs help.
She has 3 outs.
There they are, queen, queen, queen.
3 outs.
One card to come. JJ Liu at risk. Could be our first knockout of this TV final table. The most accomplished player of pretty much any woman almost in the game, with just the river card to come.
Lady next to me is a pair of hearts with a king. JJ has
JJ Liu needs a queen on the river, or she's out in 5th place. The river card, the 10 of hearts,
That's not
and
easy.
we are down to 4 players. JJ Liu with another strong performance, 5th place, wins over $26,000. Yes, she wanted so much more though.
Good game, JJ.
Thank you. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Look, girls are so nice. I always hate when I see a final table and someone busts out and the
walk
other
away.
people just ignore them. They just walk away like, whoa.
great call.
Everybody likes to have those World Series poker caches on their Hinda Mob. It looks so sweet.
Yeah, I got the little logo and all
Right.
like that, and I guess.
I used to travel around the world on the tournament circuit, and everybody's collecting flags. They're like, I don't have a Danish flag yet. And those, the caches
There
that
you
you
go.
have in the tournaments around the world.
What's your favorite flag other than USA, of
I
course,
love,
and
well,
Canadian?
English. I love England. And the World Series of Poker Europe was in England for quite a long time.
So you're a bush friend.
And I like the gay
Born
pride
in,
flag.
Born in England, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Phil Locke born there?
No, he's born in Ireland. So
Ireland, that's right. Same
Cooley
thing.
tries it again, and she's not going to get it through here. She's raising with King 9, and she runs into Ace King.
Okay, so Cooley with the raise, as you mentioned. Eisenberg.
Yeah.
Eisenberg in the small blinds, yeah, going to want a 3-bet. Playing out of position's not that palatable for anyone.
Chip
Oh,
leader,
wow.
ace queen again.
Oh, big hand versus big hand. Aoki
The
is,
one thing we know, Cooley will not be in this hand long.
True.
Yeah, she's. It's lucky for Cooley.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jams all in.
And a quick call,
wow,
I'm sure.
with ace queen
This
off.
could be a game changer.
Absolutely. So Cooley being squeezed, and she
Yeah.
has to feel lucky. She will feel lucky later on. That
She's doing a little Hollywood for later. She's never going to call. She doesn't want people to think she's been raising light in position.
And when Jen Telly says they're Hollywooding, she knows what she's talking about.
I know about Hollywooding. People sometimes think like when you're on camera, like, oh, they're just getting some camera time, but it's, it's kind of an important part of poker.
Yeah, but wow, she's reaching?
No, she's
Counting?
No, she's Hollywooding. She's really
Hollywooding?
Yes.
Well, now I'm angry. I want her to fold right away.
She might actually be thinking 3 for 1, but she can't think her hand is good at this point.
No. Eisenberg waiting with ace-king.
It's also, too, someone once told me, you don't want to fold too quick. You want people to get that sick, anxious feeling when they're in a hand with you.
But it's the ladies' event, Jen. Everybody loves each other, you said.
I would be very surprised if she calls
Now it's gone.
she folds.
And now Eisenberg.
That very good Hollywooding on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Cooley,
This,
I give you 10 out of 10.
This is like not quite as simple as it seems. You look at ace king, you think, okay, you slam your chips in, no problem. With ICM, with there being a 10K pay jump, with Cooley being so short, this is a sick feeling if you're Eisenberg. You don't love this. And you think when Aoki 4-bet jams, her range is very, very strong. So while I do think ace king is a call, it's not an exciting call like it would be earlier in a tournament.
Eisenberg, the one who would be at risk, being tested for all of her chips right here. She's run deep in a lot of events. She's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring.
I have folded an ace-king before, but I think when you're looking at four-handed in the chap, that fact that Aoki's one of the chip leaders, it's a call, you know, but it's an icky feeling, like you say, Jamie.
And if she does call, she will be thrilled to see.
Yeah. But, you know, even if you're up against, like, pocket aces or something, the pocket pair would have a slight edge over you. So.
Sure.
Yeah, she also has to think about how long Cooley took to fold and thinking, are some of my outs dead? When Cooley's taking forever, it's like an ace or a king may have hit the muck there, and she's not feeling great about that.
And it's true, the king did hit the muck.
Mm-hmm.
At this point in the tournament, survival is very, very important.
Wow,
She
it was
makes the
finally
right
like,
call.
oh, I got to call.
Yeah.
I have to
Right.
call. And Eisenberg at risk, but with a better hand against the ace-queen of the chip leader.
Ace queen versus ace king.
Perhaps the former chip leader. Eisenberg in line to become the new chip leader if her ace-king holds up. Aoki will be cut down to third place. Aoki trying to do everything she could to take this pot before it got to this moment. But Eisenberg with the ace-king just could not find a fold, and rightly so. And here is the flop. And there is a king.
There you
And
go.
that all but ends it. Eisenberg in great shape to double through the chip leader.
Just got to fade those backdoor hearts and running queens.
Turn card. Deuce of diamonds, and
There
so
you
that
go.
is going to do it. The double up complete. The river card meaningless. Aoki giving up a bunch of chips to the new chip leader, Lara Eisenberg.
You didn't tell me and spoil the sweat.
Yeah, she's saying, I'm glad you didn't tell me and spoil the sweat up. Supposedly, it's
Even
very
moving
bad
up the
form
chip
to say
board.
I folded a king, you know, out loud when they see
Right.
the hands.
It's just an etiquette thing. It just
Yeah.
feels worse when
Well,
then
I'm glad I
someone
got
hits
JJ
their card
Yeah.
and you know,
Also, too, you're killing their hope for the.
Yes.
You know?
You feel strange cheering, and
Yeah.
usually the Thunderdome's like pretty raucous.
I love when the, like in times past, when the English people, because they're used
They're
to making so much
amazing.
noise at their soccer
The
tournaments.
songs,
The songs.
drinking
the
out of
cheering,
shoes.
The drinking, yes.
That was you, by the way. Oh, no, Maria Ho. It was Maria Ho. Right.
Maria drank out of a shoe.
You would have, though.
I would have. Yeah.
A male shoe or a female shoe?
I think she drank out of her own boot.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's one of
gosh.
those things you do and you go, oh, the alcohol kills the germs, which I don't know if that's true.
So Lou came way ahead here. She might not know that, but she's, you know, as Antonio would say, it's hard to get a pair. I think
Hard
she
to make
knows
a
where
pair.
she's at. She's
Yep.
going to check in.
Do you remember Antonio? You guys kind of dissed him.
I love Antonio. Who dissed him?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, yeah.
It was a COVID thing.
I think she's waiting for. Yeah, she's waiting for Aoki to make a play, but Aoki didn't do it,
No.
and then she would, you know, maybe have shoved. I think she knows exactly where she's at, especially now after everybody checking to the river.
Going to pay her off.
Yeah, there you go. Nice
Just in
value
case.
bet by
Just in
JJ
case.
Liu.
Welcome back to the 2021 World Series of Poker, event number 22, about to wind up. The 1K, the Ladies Championship. We are heads up right now. I'm Lon McCarron with Jamie Kerstetter and Jennifer Tilley. Hope you have enjoyed the ride here. We began with 5 players on this TV final table, and And right now, Lara Eisenberg with the chip lead, 8.3 million out of Silver Spring, Maryland. Who knew that a good poker player could come out of Silver Spring, Maryland? Because we know somebody from there who's not that great a poker player. Debora Brooke, third career live cash. First World Series of Poker cash. Started in second place. She's still here with 4.6 million chips. The styles, Jamie, have you been able to really pick up anything on their style and how that might match up heads up?
For sure. So we've been watching Brooke the whole time kind of navigate really small pots. We've seen her try to limp some subpar hands and just keep pots really small. And then we see Eisenberg, who is not afraid to put chips in pots. She has some moves. She's a studied player who's done a lot of ICM work. I'm wondering if she's done some heads up work. Could come in handy now. But yeah, Eisenberg's style favors short-handed poker a lot. More aggression.
Oh, the ace-jack favors Brooke right here as
40,
we
right?
take a look at our tournament summary brought to you by Solve for Why. 600 Solve for Why. Sorry about that, buddy. 644 players. First place, as mentioned, worth almost 116,000. Aoki and Cooley have gone down, and for Aoki, it was a bitter end as she started with a chip lead. She had great cards early on, went over 5 million very early on, but just you know, ran into a buzzsaw in Eisenberg.
It's got to be 160 to raise, miss.
I didn't. I said call.
You said call? I did not hear you. My apologies.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, totally fine.
With the masks, you know, you can get misconstrued, but everything is right as it should be. You see the beautiful World Series of Poker bracelet by Jocelyn on the table. Neither one of these ladies has a bracelet. 10-4 queen.
Check, check.
A couple of heads-up hands. Ginger in the box is a little nervous too, I think, dealing the championship hands, potentially.
200,000 is the bet.
So with the 8, which is the better hand right now, Eisenberg bets and takes it. So from their styles, Jamie, do you expect a protracted heads up?
It's hard to say because if Brooke is trying to
I know you went to
limp,
Rutgers. That kind of means long.
Oh, thank
draw.
you.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't throw shade at Rutgers. It's a fine institution.
It is indeed.
Brooke likes to keep pots small. If one person's trying to keep pots small, you know, they're going to be small. Your head's up. It's only
they're
two
going to be
players.
small, right?
So it could be a long match, depending on how Eisenberg combats that. Eisenberg seems to have an experience edge and a skill edge, in my opinion. And if I'm Eisenberg, then maybe I want to play post-flop deep stack. Maybe I want the stack-to-pot ratio to remain large. So then you kind of let Brooke do the limping, and it could be a really long match if that's how it goes.
And that is where really the true skill in poker comes out, is in post-flop play, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And adjusting to your opponents, like realizing you have a skill edge and saying, okay, let's see 3 cards. Let's see what happens then.
Wheel draw for Brooke. But 10-eye is still best here. Brooke's going to go ahead and lead out with that ace.
That was 200,000.
Good for Brooke leading out with her gutter ball there and taking one down.
So yeah, if the early hands are any indication, you're absolutely right. This could be a while. As we get a look at Debora Brooke. When I introduced myself to her, she says, "Just call me Brooke. Just call me Brooke." This bio brought to you by GPI, TPM, the live poker collection. Retired from law enforcement.
Is it 50 or 100 for the slope?
In Delaware,
Okay.
she lives. A little party going on her house right now, and their Wednesday night poker club watching this very carefully. A shout out to them. I guess
would
you
love
guys
footage
taught her
of that.
well.
That would be so nice if we had like a little cam of their party. 'Cause
Yeah.
that is so
Right.
awesome.
They must be really cheering her on.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a great
they are.
accomplishment. I mean, this is a really big field. She's heads up for a WSOP bracelet right now.
Heads up, more or less, you kind of have to play pretty much every hand. And so there's going to be pretty much every hand played.
It does, absolutely.
And especially with the big blind ante, there's a lot of dead money in every single pot.
Yeah. Taking these small pots are
250,000.
crucial.
Now, what do you think of the big blind ante being carried through into heads up? Is it an issue? I mean, some people think, why do it? Just make the blinds a little bigger or whatever. But
Well, they don't want the final table to go on forever, so I think it's just another way of upping the stakes a little bit and making people be a little more aggressive in heads-up play. I'm just guessing.
But it's, yeah,
Right.
I don't know.
I think sometimes
It's a little clunky, I think.
people do complain that, you know, you get really far and then all of a sudden the blinds and antes are so accelerated when you get towards the end that it inhibits your ability to do more complicated
It's more
plays.
of a flip fest, yeah.
It's more of a flip fest. But
we can't really say that here as like this was a really good tournament. The structure is very, very good. 85 big blinds, 43 big blinds heads up matches. Really respectable structure. This definitely is not a flip fest, but I agree with you that in a worse structured tournament, if it's big blind ante heads up and it's 20 big blinds, 20 big blinds, it can be a disaster.
I felt this final table was very enjoyable. It wasn't just a shove fest. There was a lot of play and a lot of very interesting play. And I respect all of these women. It's been really, I really enjoyed watching them.
Another 4 on the turn. Eisenberg best with the ace high.
That is 450,000.
And another bet, another fold from Eisenberg. And so Brooke taking some hands that she shouldn't.
Nice hand.
And
Thanks.
so that's how you win poker tournaments. You know, you got to steal pots. And,
We've heard.
Yeah. So we've heard. All right. So as mentioned, a new floor reporter for us, Marley Caden. She's down right now with our 3rd place finisher.
Mikiyo Aoki, our 3rd place finisher. I know that wasn't how you were hoping things would shake out, but you did have your brother there supporting you the whole time. How special was that for you?
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously not the result we were hoping for, but I'll be back next year, so.
And will we see you in any other events at this year's World Series of Poker?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if probably next one is Monster Stack, if I can still hop in that one. And yeah, I'll just have plenty of tournaments to hop in next. So.
Well, best of luck and thank you for talking to us.
Thanks so much.
Good finish in 2014 here, spurred her on to a top 100 finish in the main event in 2014. And so maybe we'll see her in the main event again. Nice finish. Finishes with over $50,000 for 3rd place.
She played really well. I know there's a couple hands she's going to be thinking about late tonight, but they're not necessarily mistakes, though. It's folding the bottom 2 pair there. It's like maybe a small mistake. I know that she's not happy with it, but the rest of the final table she played really well.
Down to these last 2, Debora Brooke, Lara Eisenberg. Brooke with the best of it here. She turned the queen. But she had the best of it without turning the queen, if it weren't a jack or deuce. And betting again, and Eisenberg folding again, and there's the show.
She flashes the queen.
Nice hand, nice hand.
And I don't know if it's an amateur thing or somebody hasn't played a lot of big gun poker. Is like you feel a little sheepish taking pot after pot. It's like I really had it.
Right,
I really had it.
Yeah.
Heads up, it seems like one of the big things in heads up is intimidating your opponent. I have seen people be super jolly, super chatty like Helmuth and Negreanu, but it's very difficult not to give away information if you are in a kind of conversational state. But obviously you're at a table alone with another person. You don't want to freeze them out.
If you're quiet, it starts to feel like a bad date.
Yeah, it starts to feel really weird. So, it's understandable and also makes it more interesting for us, the viewers. Well, here's an interesting hand.
Queen for Eisenberg, a 6 for Brooke.
Queen and a flush draw. And
You saw Brooke glance at her chips too a little bit. Which
yeah,
usually means she's thinking about betting.
She did think about leading out, and I think she's continuing with her strategy of small ball poker, and maybe she just caught some sort of, this is.
So Eisenberg with the flush has the hand in hand.
I don't think Brooke's going to put any more money in this pot. But you never know.
That should be the end of it.
Once I check raised Elkie for almost all my chips when a flush card came because I thought I'd represent the flush. Unfortunately, he had the flush.
Oh, that's the worst.
He even said in an interview, things turned for me when Jennifer Tilly gave me all her chips. Because we were both like chip leaders. Yeah. Oh, he's like somebody you don't want to sit across the felt from. He was frustrating me so much, just like stealing pots off of me.
I talked to Laura a little bit before the tournament here started with 5-handed, and about the men-women angle, and she's run deep in a lot of tournaments. We mentioned she's got a circuit ring, and should it be a level playing field in poker between men and women. There's no strength necessarily involved here. I related that I used to call billiards, and that I don't know why the men's and women's tour aren't combined, and she latched onto that because she used to play competitive billiards, and it says there's no reason why. You just have to, have the mindset.
Okay, there's a thing though. It's not like in a normal event, not a ladies event, women have an advantage. Like we get with the same amount of chips, the same level, like everything. So yeah, we do compete with each other. This is just a thing where I feel like a man showing up to a tournament is usually surrounded by a bunch of guys, and they feel like this all the time. It's just a different feeling when you sit at a table with a bunch of women. The conversation is different. It's much more open. We feel in this tournament the way that men probably feel all the time playing with their home game buddies. I think there's a place for it. I think it's really
I totally
good
agree with
for
that.
poker.
Yeah, but it's just about getting more women involved in the poker mainstream.
This
in
is
general.
like a nice stepping stone to feeling comfortable and getting these new players into the mixed field as well.
I think there's a lot of responsibility that should fall in the grassroots poker room that needs to be more welcoming to everybody. And unfortunately, there are individuals in every one of those poker rooms that tends to, the loudest voice gets to be the majority feeling, and it's unfortunate.
It's like gyms. There's no reason why women and men can't work out in the same gym, but a lot of women feel a lot more comfortable working out in a woman's gym.
It goes back so far and so deeply rooted. The women do not feel comfortable because the men have been such jerks for so many centuries.
It's gotten better. I will say, I
okay.
really think the etiquette in poker rooms has gotten much better. Not confronted by a lot of jerky guys anymore.
I honestly haven't had a lot of problems with playing in co-ed tournaments. This is pretty cut and dried. Eisenberg has top pair.
No hearts on the flop.
Brooke has
gonna stab.
nothing, but she's gonna.
She's
take
been
a
doing
stab
this
at it.
too, yeah.
Yeah, good for her.
Oh,
that's a little misdirect there. A little
Pump fake.
interesting. Yeah.
That is 200,000.
She just thought better of it, and off she goes. She was like, "What am I doing?"
Returning the favor.
Yeah.
I was
and
just
she
kidding.
shows the
Just
king.
kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
Oh, you showed it to me?
Yeah.
Nice.
Go to king.
She did. She wasn't looking.
Nice.
She was
Okay.
like, "Oh, you
Thank
showed me." She was like, probably looking at her chip stack at that point. But
I had to go back and take a second look. I was like,
all right, so a little bit of what's been going on. Ryan Ling winning his third World Series of Poker bracelet. He did it in the 1500 8-game mixed 6-handed. Dylan Lindy finally winning a World Series bracelet. Boy, 85th World Series cash, first win.
wow.
3 online events have been completed, and you can look for one every weekend. There'll be one this Sunday for New Jersey and Nevada. One you should get in on, Jen, the 888 PLO Crazy 8s, 8 max. Re-enter up to 3 times there if you want.
I just want to say there aren't better people in poker than Ryan Lang and Dylan Lindy. Just super nice people. It's so nice to see the nice guys winning bracelets. Go on, Jen. You had some story time.
Oh no, I forgot what I was gonna say. But you know what? Sometimes the bracelet can be very, very elusive. Also, like there's every year there's a list of the 10 best players that have never won bracelets. So it must be kind of nice, like losing your virginity or something, to finally get that one off.
I wonder how many people would have to win a bracelet before I make that top 10 list.
You're hoping for everybody to win a bracelet.
2,000 people to win a
Well,
bracelet.
I guess we got to put Jamie on the list this year.
So
Nine for
Eisenberg has the best hand. Oh, when you're playing heads up, like you don't worry so much about the other person having a bigger pair because basically everyone's just playing the cards they're dealt. They're not choosing to play those cards.
And flush draws isn't quite the biggest monster under the bed that you think it would be, or possible flush draws, I should say.
A good practice to playing heads up in a tournament is playing those heads up machines in the casinos, because you see how seldom anybody actually connects with the flop. It really gives you a good idea of how aggressive you can be.
Well, it's, again, and you hearkened back to Antonio earlier, where he
No, I
said
didn't
hard to
have
make
to
a pair.
do, right?
Yeah, it's
How
true.
many times he said that to us,
And sometimes freaky things happen. I remember the heads up tournament, Phil Ivey was heads up with this girl who was like a qualifier, and she got pocket aces and he got pocket kings heads up. So that kind of thing does happen.
It happened to me yesterday, by the way.
Right.
I know. it's like never
I had the
ending.
kings against the aces against 8-7 suited. Which won the hand?
That is never fun. Never fun. I think they also, as a psychological advantage, they both have their masks on now because it gives you a little bit more poker face.
I've definitely been bluffing more wearing a mask.
Have you really?
I feel so comfortable. I'm just like, whatever. Like, I'm behind this thing. No one can see my, like... It definitely
You
helps.
getting picked off, or is it working?
It's working.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, I can't really say it's working. I'm up like $300 this series.
Oh, that's good. You're probably one of the few people in the
So
black.
jealous.
I used to wear a giant cowboy hat, and I dipped my head
I
down.
remember
I
that
like
hat.
that.
Yeah, it's so good for
Had the
people
full
not seeing
tilt
your face.
thing on the front too.
No, not me. I didn't have the full tilt logo. That was Andy Block.
Andy
I know
Block.
we look a lot alike.
Similar, very,
Yeah.
But I thought you had.
I was
you
never.
full
No, I was
tilt?
never
okay.
a branded player.
Okay.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
that's ridiculous.
I'll brand you. I
Okay.
don't know what I'm
Ouch.
like trying to
Ouch.
sell.
Jamie.
This is now a different kind of commentary after dark.
Eisenberg again, flop top pair, and
Check.
I mean it's kind of huge when you have 3-3-7 because usually the other person does not believe you connected with that flop.
2,000.
But Brooke doesn't really have anything to play back with, so in the muck she goes. I really feel like I need a beer now.
Why?
Because I'm watching poker and I'm kind of
Yeah.
like,
It's weird. So you've just been released into the wild, basically,
Yes,
for this
I
short
have.
time.
So a lot going on here in the Amazon room. 3 events going on. Number 25, which we'll have the final table of tomorrow, and the 1K freeze out. 1,500 horse also out there where Norman and Maury Escandani just busted out. Wah, wah. Let's get it down to the floor and Marley Caden.
The final table of our 5,000 six-handed event will be determined tonight, with the remaining 11 players fighting their way into the top 5 as we speak. Jonathan Jaffe has been near the top of the field all day, trying to make a deep run for his first gold bracelet. He's had 70 cashes in his career, and 3 of those have come in this year's WSOP, so Lady Luck may be on his side. We're down to just 2 tables, and we'll soon know who our final 5 will be.
Thank you much, Marley. As we take a look, just updating you, Jonathan Jaffe. Chip leading, that'll be 6-handed. I assume they're still playing. They're down to 7, as she said. So who knows who we're going to have on tomorrow. A king for both.
Oof.
And lots of, as
Flush
Brad
for
Garrett would
Four
say,
flush
puppy
out
dog
there.
paws. Yeah, the
and
king
Brooke
8
is the only
comes
one with
through.
a club, so she draws out on Eisenberg.
Club check.
Yeah, she's not gonna. She saw
think
that.
I got a
think
club.
she saw that club check, and she was thinking to, because a good bluff is on a 4 flush.
Yeah.
Bet out. If they don't have anything, they're just gonna fold.
Yeah. And you wonder with the 8 of
Yeah, I was
clubs.
worried about that. Bed to flush.
All good. I was checking anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Just remember if you're on the button, you're second.
So they're about where they started, heads up. 8.4 million for Eisenberg, 4.5 million for Brooke.
You have a tremendous advantage when you're the chip leader, heads up. You just got to grind the other person down, hope there's not any big confrontations that doubles the other person up. I don't think there's going to be any all-ins anytime soon because they both have so many chips.
Right. And Jamie, you were talking about, how this could be protracted because Brooke likes to play the small pots and Eisenberg might be okay with that. But at some point, where do you want to start putting more pressure on if you're Eisenberg? I mean, do you want to start raising and putting and trying to just get Brooke off her comfort level of small pots, small cards? Or
I mean, you can. It's just up to you what your strategy is. If she's more of a post-flop player, I've seen people who are primarily cash game players play really long heads-up matches because they're okay with playing post-flop. They have more experience with like turn and river decisions. So I'm not sure exactly what Eisenberg's plan is, but I could see her go either way. Either start putting in tons of 3-bets or isolating a lot of limps, or I could see her playing post-flop and becoming aggressive once you already see the flop. More information.
Okay. Paired board on the turn. Eisenberg is best here with her queen and
the better flush draw.
Flush draw and straight draw.
The thing is, when you're the chip leader, you do not want to make the other person strong, but
Double
It might-
fisted fold.
yep. Well, what you said, Jamie, sometimes it's a good strategy to up the stakes a little bit and, chisel away at the other person's stack a little faster. but sometimes that can backfire on you
Oh,
too.
yeah,
So
definitely.
there's something to be said for both strategies.
But at least you can now to stop that. If it's you start feeling uncomfortable and the leak gets
Right.
too big and you're not hurt that bad, you can
Right.
still be chip leader. But the risk might be worth the reward, you
Yeah.
know, to pair them down.
She wants to put some distance between herself and Brooke. Because
double
also
up away.
to the other person, sometimes they'll get like sort of disheartened when they see their chips dribbling away. So then you have a psychological advantage as well.
And that's more key heads up than in any other.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, indicated by her hesitance to call the ace-king earlier, she's not trying to get into these massive confrontations pre-flop. She wants to whittle her opponent down. She feels she has a skill advantage and wants to play a little bit slower, and I feel like that's a really good strategy here. Especially if your opponent's kind of playing fit or fold, then we've been saying before, it's hard to make a pair. It's hard to hit a flop, and if you're going to be able to c-bet and take down a bunch of pots slowly, you may as well. I would spend 8 hours winning a bracelet. That sounds fine.
I'm like, shove!
You got a queen. Yeah, there you go. So Brooke rivered the queen. She was ahead anyway. Take that small pot.
Hey, Ken. Thank you.
Happy to be stacking chips. Stacking chips is a good thing. Doesn't matter how many. It always feels good.
It's a good feeling. And sometimes, you know, if you've got an advantage on your opponent, you have to stack them in a sort of subtle, sheepish way. Like, sometimes it tilts the other person if you're like greedily stacking, you know. It's like stacking etiquette for sure.
Now, we talked about the ladies event and how it can be a good stepping ground. Here at the 52nd World Series of Poker, watching the final two here of the ladies championship, what would the temperature be for having a second ladies only tournament, do you think?
You're saying have two for
not
summer.
championships, but just another.
I don't think we need that really.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And they do build a whole ladies week. It's not just WSOP.
Yeah. They
do.
A lot of
Other
the other casinos
casinos,
offer some smaller buy-ins for the people who come to town just for this. It's really nice. It's almost like a festival.
Yeah.
You can play a whole week
It
of
is.
stuff.
And everyone's in town. I remember once I was playing the ladies event, and a whole bunch of girls that I knew, or ladies, I should say, we all went to that. There's a really good Mexican restaurant.
we went
by
to
the
El
strip
Dorado.
joint. Yeah,
It was
you were
so
there,
much
right?
fun.
Yeah. And I just felt like I love the camaraderie. Like, that everyone's all out and let's go have some Mexican
We had
food.
30 people or something
Yeah.
ridiculous, like on dinner break.
Yeah.
That was really nice. One thing I do wish they would do is make this closer to the main event and have women stick around, because I think people who cash well in this will then throw some money into satellites or play the main just direct buy. And the distance between it makes it a little hard, especially for women who have kids and responsibilities.
Well, Brooke raised pre-flop, and then Eisenberg out-flopped her. And Brooke might think that her ace high is good because she called Eisenberg's bet. And I think Eisenberg knows where she's checking. That's interesting. And
One pair with queen 9.
Nice.
and she takes it down. And the pot is 1,200,000. See, the blinds and antes, the pots are huge, even if there's not a lot of confrontation there.
So Eisenberg stacking again, and a little bit of an advantage for her heads up. Recent hardware winners, last 5 to win bracelets. Mentioned Ling and Dylan Lind. Michael Prendergast winning the $600 pot limit Omaha deep stack. Daniel Lazarus winning event number 17, which was the Millionaire Maker. So Lazarus, the latest to win the hardware there in the Millionaire Maker. He does win $1 million plus.
We're getting our question answered. Eisenberg is not going to be folding any buttons as she limps the 5 deuce. And that kind of happens when there's the big blind ante. There's a lot of dead money. You have to really limp everything or raise everything. There's not a lot of folding.
And you do have an advantage on the button. And, a lot of times it doesn't matter what your hand is, it's what you want to represent.
There you go. There you go.
And right there, she didn't want to represent anything except for a 5-2. Like, you know what? I think I can pick a better spot.
So Eisenberg now over 9 million for the first time, and Brooke
Just
down
the big
below
ones, just
4 million.
crazy.
And Josh Aria, golfer Josh, I got a chance to play some golf with last May. It's the 17 years later. Wow! After
Amazing.
memorable 2004 World Series of Poker. And there's REA and Matt Savage and David Williams and the champ from that year, Greg Raymer.
Everybody looks the same. Nobody ages.
That could have been from this year. It's
it could have
crazy.
been.
Well, Josh looks pretty ragged, actually.
Oh, really? I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah.
That's the time I saw him. I think it was the Kentucky Derby a few years back.
Likes the ponies.
Ace 7 versus Jack 10.
Check. Check.
A lot of times, heads up, it's a high card war, which if it goes to the river and nobody connects,
The draw for Eisenberg.
the ace will take it down.
He's ahead with, as you mentioned, Ace 7.
Mm-hmm.
That is 450,000.
So you kind of feel the mojo moving that
Yeah,
way.
it's a momentum. That's why I'm glad we're not doing the November 9 anymore, because a lot of times y'all have a lot of momentum. You'll be on a rush, and I really feel like with the November 9, where they would have the final table in November, that it really changed the outcome a lot.
Oh, we're having one this year.
Yeah, we're having the November 9.
Oh, dear.
It's just because it starts in November.
Oh, right. Yes, of course, of course.
This is October,
Yeah.
Ken. This is October.
But Eisenberg has the momentum now, and she's running with it, and she's riding that wave.
And one thing they are doing that's a little different, these events that are on PokerGo are protracted. They're an extra day. This is a fourth day for this event, which is a long time
Right.
for a 1K event, you know.
Yeah.
But it is to give them exposure, because you can get down to your TV final table the night before, however late it goes,
Right.
and then you're guaranteed the fans will be able to watch you at a certain hour the next day on PokerGo.
Which is really nice, and there's a lot of interest in ladies
because we would be
tournaments.
delayed in the last year. Oh, our
Yeah.
final table's starting at 10 p.m. It's like
Yeah.
nobody's watching.
When I played, they were trying to finish the tournament in one day, and there's so many entries. And there were two people that wanted, because they had to play the next day, they wanted to keep playing, and then they left, and then we decided to do the final table the next day. The people left. So.
And I always believe, I mean, you know, back in the day, we would say where you play the main event from noon until 1 or 2 a.m., you know, and I always thought that stamina and that ability to focus and be smart late in the night, and as Howard Lederer said, there's so much value in the last 2 hours of the main event during those days because people fade, and that's part of the game. And it's still part of the game because the tournament is so long, and every tournament's a grind. And to have them go on 4 days like this, it is tough physically as well as mentally. And so you really
Especially
have
because
to
I
give them
can't
hats
sleep when I bag chips. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
exactly.
I still am to this day. Like
Yeah.
I got 3 hours of sleep after bagging a bunch on day 1 of this, and I was like, I'm supposed to be a pro. I'm supposed
I
to
know.
be
I
over
talked
this
to you
by
the next
now.
morning. You
yeah.
sound like crap. You
Yep.
know?
So here we have Brooke has 2 pair, but it looks like Eisenberg
straight.
made it straight. So there could be a big confrontation here. Wow.
7s and 5s
Unlucky
for Brooke.
card for Brooke, yes.
Yep, and it's a 9 high straight for
Big hand.
Eisenberg.
Calls. Show them, ladies.
Just a call.
She just called.
Just a call. There's a third diamond out there.
Oh, that's true. I didn't see
2
the
pair
diamond.
going to go down to
The-
Eisenberg's rivered straight, so the river
Nice.
card
It's
played
a,
huge right
It's a
there.
spot where you have to weigh the advantages of raising, and for Eisenberg, what is Brooke going to call with if she raises with her straight? There's,
Right.
there's you
A
know,
better
I think
hand.
2 pairs probably folding. Yeah.
And the old adage, you know, who's going to call you?
Yeah.
And so a hit to Brooke right there, and she is down below 2 million chips as Eisenberg goes over 11 million, 111 big blinds. The blinds are still 50 and 100K, and so she's got a World Series of Poker circuit ring, and now she's moving very close to her first World Series of Poker bracelet. Brooke with a suited king here. The late stages of this 1K World Series of Poker Ladies Championship. Lara Eisenberg, Debora Brooke. King 5-10.
Check.
Eisenberg won with 5 deuce. She's going to fold after Brooke flops and shows the king.
I always get so excited when I see deuce 7 now from playing the deuce 7 game for so long. I'm like, no, not in a tournament, no.
Not that it's about me, but last night I flopped a queen. I'd been called pre-flop by 7 deuce. They flopped a 7 and river to deuce, and I'm out.
So unfair.
Yeah.
I know most of the people tuning in are trying to hear your bad beat stories,
It
so they're
was 8
finally they
seconds.
get one.
It was
you know?
8 seconds.
I'm saying
you know?
the people at home want it. Give them what they want.
Slay Dog will listen to 5 of your bad beat stories for $15.
I think that's a pretty good
There
deal.
were guys in
Pretty
the
good
hallway who did that several years ago. You know?
I had talked about that. I forget who I was supposed to do it with, but we were going to stand at the end of the hallway with puppies. It was be me and another girl and be like hugs and puppies, $10.
I'd pay for that.
100%, right?
And it's good for puppies. They need like 600
Yeah.
touches, don't they? Or
I don't
something
know.
Like that.
I give them more than that.
Yeah, I know you do. From different people, Jamie.
So they both connected with this flop,
Eisenberg's best with middle pair.
but you gotta think. I mean, Brooke's like, I've got it too. I always assume nobody ever connected with the flop, and lots of times I'm wrong.
Everyone's connecting with the flop. You hit the flop, didn't you, Jamie?
Yep. I have an 8.
You always carry that 8 with you, don't you?
She's got an 8 up her sleeve for situations just like this.
Yeah, no, she's not brave enough to have the ace there.
Well, now the 4 has got to think nobody. They
Well,
both
maybe
think
the,
nobody has a king.
the deuce does also, but
Yeah.
the deuce checks the 4.
Right.
Show me a winner. No,
Yeah.
Brooke couldn't. Eisenberg can.
That was a good check by Brooke. She was like,
Yeah,
she
wow.
probably thought she had showdown value, and lucky she didn't put any more money into that pot.
Table getting very tilted now as Eisenberg goes up to almost 11.5 million to 1.5 million for Debora Brooke. Hey, you love poker? You love to get on the road? The ultimate battleground, the PokerGO Tour, presented by Guaranteed Rate. And it's for the game's elite. Watch as poker's best players compete in the most challenging high-stakes event in the world. Where are you going to find it? Yeah, exclusively on PokerGO. There's a new bracelet winner right there. Here's the Coon. 3 pretty good players there. Blind still at 50,000, 100,000, another 100K for the big blind for the ante, even though there's only 2 people. Just both put the ante in, you know. I don't know. Sorry, I'm going to go on that little rant.
It's important at the final table to have a really good fast shuffler because the hands turn over so fast.
You were just She just folded to me.
I just folded to. Yep.
And sometimes it gets confusing, like where's the button, who has the button? You know, you see a lot of times people checking out a turn.
Well, just have electronic tables. Come on.
I can be talked into anything.
Can I buy some
These
green?
poor dealers.
Right.
They need to make a living wage, you know. They can't.
I need to.
You just want AI to take over right now?
Right.
Oh, no. It was
That's true.
tongue firmly in cheek.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Debora Brooke, you know, she was hanging in there, and then it just started slipping away pretty quickly. King, Queen of Hearts for Eisenberg.
Nice, very nice hand, heads up.
And, you know, for someone who wants to play small pots, it wasn't like there was big haymakers going on, and you saw quickly her stack evaporated.
And Brooke's also got a good hand,
King 8, yeah.
but she's out pipped.
the
Oh,
king
no,
and
wow.
the
This
flop.
could be. This could be
So
trouble.
we got 14 big
Very
blinds.
dangerous.
It could be the end, honestly.
Brooke, does she check to check raise?
However, Brooke is pretty cautious. She might be able to get away from it. I don't know.
Top pair heads up.
She's
There's
gonna
no
get
getting
whittled.
away.
She's
No
going to
getting
get
away.
whittled
No.
away, but she
Just
just
calls
called there.
200,000,
She didn't
yeah.
check raise. I don't know what could save her. Eisenberg's whittling.
That's an 8. Saves
Probably
her.
doesn't put her on a king.
Yeah,
I think she's
no
gonna,
paired board's going to
I
save
think
her.
Brooke is going to try to limp to the river with some chips left behind.
Eisenberg.
Got to say all in,
Best pair.
Eisenberg.
All in.
And all in, there it is. And now the decision for her
Yeah.
tournament life, Debora Brooke with the top pair.
I call.
And she calls,
Yeah, she
and
gotta
that
call.
will be the end of the
Wow.
Ladies' Championship. Lara Eisenberg will be putting a brand new World Series of Poker bracelet
Fantastic
on
play.
her wrist. It's over.
Well played.
Well played, ladies. I really.
I had a good time. Yeah.
Lara Eisenberg starting our TV table as the short stack came through and is the champion of the ladies event here at the World Series of Poker.
My stack was too low. I couldn't, and I wasn't doing anything. But hey,
Amazing comeback.
Congratulations.
Goes to show anything can happen.
First WSOP ever?
Right.
I remember when you had nothing sit beside me.
What a moment
Record that.
Right.
Totally record that.
for Lara Eisenberg.
Yeah. So
Great
this is good.
Great run.
Yeah. And we're gonna exchange numbers and stuff because she lives in.
Deborah Brooke
Silver
with
Spring,
a
yeah.
terrifically played event.
have to go to
She's
work
a
now
little
on
heartsick right now.
Out of
Yeah.
5, you know, I did
But
pretty well.
fantastic.
Really well.
Yeah.
Not pretty well, you did really well. Good for
So
you.
I'm happy.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
And 71 grand in your pocket doesn't hurt either.
Lara Eisenberg with the bracelet and almost $116,000 waiting for her in the cage here at the Rio. A great smile from Dr. Eisenberg. Deborah Brooke winning over $71,000. The chip leader coming in here tonight. Mikiyo
Not a bad
Aoki,
return.
50,005, and everyone happy with their results here. 644 entries. The field was strong, considering international players are not here. About 75, 80% of what we've had in the past. So it was fun, and thank you all for being with us.
I'm super happy. Lara Eisenberg played really well and earned that bracelet.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So it's event number 22, still early at the World Series of Poker. You can get out here and do what Lara Eisenberg did tonight, win your first World Series of Poker bracelet. Why not? We're going to be back tomorrow, and we've got another event for you. It's going to be the six-handed No Limit Hold'em 5K buy-in. I'll be with Maria Ho to bring you the final table, and it should be a good one. PokerGO has a lot of events coming through, and just stay with us, and we'll keep up to date on all the newest bracelet winners. So congratulations once again to Lara Eisenberg. And right now she is standing by with Marley Caden. And so let's hear from the World Series newest bracelet
Incredible
winner.
finish to our ladies No Limit Hold'em Championship. Now, Deborah, just 2 cashes in your career, and now a runner-up at a WSOP table. How do you feel right now?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I've had a wonderful time, and it's just surreal. You can't even believe I'm here.
And Lara, of course, you playing like a professional all day long, and including the days prior. You have said that your greatest life accomplishment was marrying your wife. Where does winning this bracelet fall?
It's down on the list. She's amazing.
Okay, well, I'm going to give this to you, and then you can show it to her, and it is yours to keep. Congratulations.
So that's what it feels like to win a World Series of Poker bracelet. Gentili, you've been there and you know, huh? It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
It was a great final table, a lot of fun. Everyone at the table had fun as well. Hope you did. You can still, again, enjoy more on PokerGO tomorrow, event number 25, the 5K 6-Max. Have that at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Another bracelet winner. Will it be a new winner? Who knows? A lot of smiles all around. Congratulations once again, Lara Eisenberg. She is the latest World Series of Poker bracelet winner. For Gentili and Jamie Kerstetter, I'm Lon McCarran. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.